Welcome to Directly to You, episode 142. I had to get it out of the way before I messed it up. I'm AJ of Fanatix Four. Directly to You is Fanatix Four's podcast, and I'm joined by Parker, who is also Fanatix Four. That's a weird order to say the stuff, but I'm going to say it anyway. And
it's a whole new year, a new order.
New order.
That's how it
I'm
goes.
never going to use this order again. Who knows? It's always random. I don't script this.
Maybe a new order every week. That's the New Year's resolution right there.
I can't honor that. I'll forget.
No, it'll be bad.
Anyway, you can support this show and channel and us as creators by going to youtube.com/Fanatix4, twitch.tv/Fanatix4 and giving $4.99. Or if you're on Twitch specifically, you have an Amazon Prime account, or your mom has an Amazon Prime account, or your next door neighbor doesn't use their Amazon Prime account and they're cool with you like that, you can link it to your Twitch account to get a free Twitch subscription, and you can give it to us and Jeff Bezos, will give us the $4.99 on your behalf.
Yeah.
You can get access to our supporters only Discord, you get loyalty badges, you get free Switch keys from time to time, you get freaking emotes that are dope. We have more slots for emotes because I've been streaming.
Nice.
So I got to talk to Alyssa about filling those slots with something, one of which is going to be a Parker emote. I mean, we already have a Parker emote. That's sort of kind of, because I just use like the transparent face thingy as an emote, but I want to do like a Parker emote,
Also, I guess at this point I need to figure out, this is dumb, but like, is my hair going to stay long for a while? And if so, probably my little picture thing should change to reflect that. Because like right now my hair is short in that. It doesn't matter at all, but it's something that I think about sometimes.
It's true.
Every day.
But also, I'm streaming more. I'm going to have regular schedule now. I think that the main thing is going to be I'm at least doing Thursdays, Wednesdays. I don't know why I said that in that order. Saturdays. But also, depending on how ahead of schedule I am, I might do Tuesdays around like midway through Wolf Den Live to like 11, so I can get that Wolf Den Live host, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, it depends on how far ahead I am in making the video and blah, 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 blah.
Do you know what times on those days? I mean, at some point, I guess we'll figure out a schedule.
So Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I'm probably going to do like 6 to 9 somewhere, something like that.
Nice. But
it might be a little bit longer, might be shorter. As far as like Wolf Den, like I said, like 9-ish to like midnight-ish.
Yeah.
It's probably when I'll do that. And then for those streams, I'll probably play like for the Wolf Den one specifically, because it's like an additional thing that I may or may not do. I'm just playing Smash Brothers, dude. Like it's just going to be like something that's like nice and chill and easy. I think that the default is probably going to be Smash Brothers. I'll probably play Pokemon too, but that depends on if like Lee joins me or something like that. And then for the other stuff that I play is like whatever new game's out. Like I freaking got Hades. Maybe I'll play that on stream. Maybe I'll have a reason to play Breath of the Wild now again on stream, sort of thing. But let me know, what do you want to see me play, people?
What do I want to see you play?
What do you want to see me play, Parker?
Well, speaking of playing, what are you playing these days?
I'm playing. I started Hades.
Yep.
It's fine. I'm not like getting it
How far
yet.
into? Yeah, I've heard it's one of those where like there's a bunch of people where it just clicks at some point. Maybe there's some other people that it clicks straight away. I don't really know. But like, how far into it are you, or anything like that?
I don't know, because it's like I think it's like you go until you clear it, or you die and you start over sort of situation.
It is.
And I don't know, I got like 4 rooms in or something, like 4 or 5 rooms in, and I died. And then I got like 3 rooms in, and then I died. And then I don't know, I think I had to stream or something. So like I'm not super far in. I don't feel like it's bad, but I'm not getting it yet. It's not the thing that's like, oh, this is the best game. It's like it exists and it's fine. And like there's like, like the fighter game player in me is like, oh, this is cool. But other than that, it's like,
I think there's an element of it too where like finding the right weapon for you is something as well, or whatever, where like I know that you can unlock different weapons and different boons that make it like you play it differently and stuff. So because I played it just a tiny bit at Mitch's. I think I just went till I died and that was it. But I kind of felt the same way, where I was like, this is cool. I could probably imagine how if I played it more I'd be into it, but I don't necessarily care to play it more right now. But I've heard so many people say that like, yeah, it's a great game, that like I know it's a great game, it's not one that I'm playing right now. But that's fun that you're playing it. Yeah.
Again, maybe I'll stream it, and that'll give me a better reason to actually, play it enough to be like, oh, I get it now. But
and then
also,
people just yell at you
like,
in the chat, backseat
exactly,
gaming.
but that's what I'm saying. That seems like the sort of game that I very much so do not want to play.
Yeah, right. I thought you were gonna say like that seems like the game people would want to like would come in purposely, like you'd get a bunch of butts in the seats because people want to come in a backseat game.
Yeah,
and so I was like, no,
no.
that's not fun.
No, I'd rather have one viewer than to have 4,000 viewers, all of them being like, but do this. I don't care about your opinion on what I should do in the video game unless I specifically ask you. And trust me, I'm not going to specifically ask you unless I already know and like trust your opinion.
Right. I will say though, I feel like that kind of game still would be significantly better than anything with like puzzle elements to it or whatever. Cause like there's decisions to be made for sure as far as like, this is the weapon that I want or whatever. But like all of that is still kind of preferential for people.
I just don't like playing games that for whatever reason people have played through and beat a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because they all come into it like you also should have played and beaten the thing.
Right.
Like that's why I freaking hated playing Mario 64 on stream, because it's like the last time I played this game was 12 years ago, dude, because it's garbage. No, I'm joking. It's not garbage, but it aged like garbage. But everybody is like, I play this game 3 times a year and this is how you do it. Like, of course you know better than me how to do the thing, or excuse its flaws because you wrote it off already. But at the end of the day, I did not. So don't freaking put that on me.
I think like a lot of times too, like with something like Hades probably, or like Breath of the Wild or something where like if you level up a whole lot within a game and like more so some kind of action-y game than like a turn-based thing where you level up, but you kind of probably forget how hard some low-level enemies are by the time that you're leveled up so much, because then you go through and you just crush them, and it's no big deal. Right. But then if probably like the people that are saying like, oh, you shouldn't be dying to these guys also died to those guys a bunch, but now they're just used to like being so powered up that like you crush them and
exactly, and they're not playing it on stream, which is like adds more layers to it, where it's like you want to like obviously you're playing in front of people, so that's one layer, and then it's like you want to make sure that like you're trying to entertain those people, whether it be engaging with chat or like not dying or like making sure that you're moving at a certain pace or whatever, versus like you can just play at your own pace, not worry about literally anything when you're playing the game by yourself.
I don't have any experience or barely any experience with that, other than like a couple of times I was playing Dark Souls on my lunch break or something, and like Mitch came in to hang out with me on my lunch break. This is a long time ago when A, I could be in an office, and B, a long time ago. And I remember just how much worse I played just with him being there, who like, he wasn't criticizing me at all. He was just like, he loves Dark Souls. He was just watching like, oh, cool. But suddenly I didn't want to, like, normally I'm really slow with a lot of those games where I just like cheese a bunch of enemies and all that, because like I don't really take the time to be super good at parrying and doing a lot of things that you should be good at when playing those. I just will like get far away and I don't know, do some lame stuff, whatever, like shoot bow and arrow in games that allow you to shoot bow and arrow. I don't remember what I did in Dark Souls, but I did stuff. But then like I'd rush through things because somebody else is watching me and I'm like, I don't want to be stuck in this part. This is boring for them to watch. But then I died. And then I'd have to do it again and again and again and again. So
that's exactly what it is, dude. And it's like, that's why I like streaming Smash Brothers, because it's like I can play that with my brain completely off. And even when I'm like playing against somebody that I know is good, then that adds another layer to it, where it's like a lot of times it's just people that I already have a rapport with, and we're just like joking and talking and stuff like we would just playing normally. And I don't have to like go out of my way to change how I play the game to make it more entertaining. So
that's true. Yeah, in terms of games though, I've got a bunch.
You got an Xbox plan.
Dude. I got an Xbox for Christmas. So yeah, it's an Xbox One S, and I got Game Pass on it. That so far it just came with 1 month of free Game Pass, and I need to get some more months on top of that. But it was funny too. I should have gotten the surprise ruined for me, sort of, when in my stocking was an Xbox gift card for like $15 Xbox gift card. And I and my father-in-law was like, can you use that? And I was like, Yeah, I guess so. Just because I was like, I've got a work laptop that I technically could buy some super low powered games on, the Xbox store on there or something. I was like, I guess, but like maybe they just figured that I was kind of Nintendo'd out, didn't really need that. So I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah, I've got this. It'll be fine. And then I got an Xbox and I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. But then afterwards, Ashley was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Did it ruin the surprise? I was like, literally, no, I had no clue at all. So
That used to happen to me when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and people still bought me video games. And I would like open a game for like when I got my Game Boy Advance, like I got a Game Boy Advance game, and I'm like, but I don't have a Game Boy Advance, but I do have a Game Boy Advance, and that's like with my little brother specifically. He's like, we don't have Game Boy Advance. I'm like, stupid. Yes, we do. We got it. It's just at grandma's house, idiot. And
that was, I mean, a couple of years ago when Ashley, it is like 2016 Christmas or something like that. Oh yeah, it was like right before the Switch came out. Ashley got me 2DS, and so we'd been playing the Wii at that point, and she got me Super Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't play this. We have a Wii. We don't have a 3DS. And I was like, and she's like, oh man, well, we'll figure it out. And then I got a 2DS. And then I've realized like her dad loves to do that. Like every year there'll be something pretty much where it's like, oh no. And I'm like, I don't know why we still kind of fall for it sometimes, but we do. So I think part of it is like, I don't want to, even if maybe I think maybe there's a 2DS later, I don't want to assume that. So I'll just be like, oh, okay.
There was literally
like,
1 year, I don't know how old I was. I was probably like 6 or 7 or something like that. And all I wanted, because I mean, I'm this type of person anyway. It's like, I want this. I don't care about literally, and it's not even necessarily something that's like crazy expensive. It's like, I want this toy and that's what I want. And I can get 1,000 more things. And like, I'd rather trade all of that stuff in for the one specific thing that I want. One Christmas, I wanted Dragon Ball Z Budokai. That's what I wanted. I wanted that and nothing else, and it's like I didn't get that, but I got stuff that was like kind of, or I did get it, but at first I didn't get it. I got stuff that was like kind of, strategy guide and stuff like that type of crap. And I was like so bummed out. I was like, man, I didn't get the game, whatever. But then I got it, and I was like, oh, okay, I get you. I know what you do now. And then ever since then, I had them figured out, dude.
Man, but yeah, so I've Game Pass now. I downloaded a whole bunch of games on Game Pass, and then I also got Jedi Fallen Order, and I think maybe I'll see if it is. It's on Game Pass.
You just
Ultimate.
got it straight up as a gift.
Oh,
you got regular Game Pass. I didn't even know.
So I've got regular right now because that's what it came with for free. But then it's got the whole 3 months for $1 of Game Pass Ultimate, which then has like xCloud and stuff as well, I guess. EA, no, so. I'm gonna get that at some point.
That's messed up.
What?
You missed the thing of like being able to like rob them effectively.
Yep. So but yeah, I got Jedi Fallen Order physically, and then also Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, which I might see if I can get a receipt, return it, just because I already have it on Switch. So
yeah, you don't want that game twice, dude.
So we'll see about that. But yeah, as far as the games I've been playing on Game Pass, I downloaded a whole bunch. I've only played a little bit so far of a couple of them, but been playing Jedi Fallen Order, again, not on Game Pass, but in general. And it's good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm playing it on Jedi Knight difficulty, which is like
normal.
Normal, pretty much, yeah. Because I knew it was like a Souls-like kind of.
Yeah.
And on that mode, it's like a Souls-light. But I think on Jedi Master, it's a Souls-like. And I'm like, I'm just here to have fun. I don't care about like really going hard and stuff.
I just played on Jedi Knight too, I think.
Yeah, and it's great. I'm really enjoying it, and like I feel like the things that it's doing, like I don't care at all about the story, just because whatever, it's just.
Same.
But the mechanics are cool. I
just want to be the laser sword wizard.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I want.
And I do realize, like, I'm not a big fan of. I really like sci-fi as a genre, especially in movies and shows and stuff, but I don't care about sci-fi games most of the time because I think a lot of times they're just like shooters, and I'm not good at shooters and don't really like shooters.
I don't really like Star Wars, and I was about to say that means you're a Star Wars fan, dude. Neither do that.
Yeah, man, I see you there. No, I do like Star Wars, but But yeah,
fake
so
Star Wars fan.
but Jedi Fall, yeah, true. But actually, that's so true though. But Fallen Order is it's been fun because it's sci-fi stuff, but it's swords still, and I love swords. So
yeah, same.
I just finished Zephyr. I did, so it's my second planet. I haven't done whatever the.
I don't remember what any of the planets are called, but I have a vague idea of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just got Force Push, so now I can do that. Did you beat that game, or you like typical?
No.
Okay,
no.
I didn't figure.
I played it for like 15 hours, and I was like, okay, I had enough. But I'll probably play it more. Yeah. I don't remember even what console I got it on. I think I got it on Xbox. I don't remember. If I got it on Xbox,
it's like most advertised for. So
if I got it on Xbox, I'll play it more.
Yeah.
But if I got it on PlayStation, I'm not plugging in my PlayStation. Are you insane?
But yeah, so the other two games that I've been playing on Game Pass, well, 3 games, I guess, if you include. Ashley has been playing some Ukulele: The Impossible Layer, which has been fun because she enjoys Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze. But although I think the overworld stuff is really cool, I think it's something that this is the first time she's having to do those kinds of it's pretty much Zelda puzzles, sort of figuring out how to open different areas and stuff. And that's not something that's very familiar to her. So I think she actually doesn't really enjoy that part of it so much. But she likes the playing it. It's a little hard for some of the levels, but it's fun.
Donkey Kong game. I mean, honestly, I found weird about that is I think the scaling is weird. It doesn't feel, at least what I played of it, doesn't feel like it's like a natural progress. Like some levels are hard.
Yeah, some of them are just I agree. Yeah, right. The first level really easy, and the second level already is oh, that was hard. And then suddenly some of the third, fourth, or fifth, one of those is back to being kind of easy. So I didn't really get. I don't know. Yeah, that was weird to me for sure. In terms of, I barely played it. I just watched her play it. But the two that I did play, I played the first World of Banjo-Kazooie, which feels a bit like what you were saying with Mario. Never, not a one time. This is the first Banjo anything I've ever touched, and it's fun. I enjoy all the variety of moves and stuff, and I feel like it's a little bit easier than Super Mario 64 in terms of figuring out what you're supposed to do, but not 100% easier. There's still some times where I'm I don't really know. I'll just kind of guess at some stuff, and then eventually.
In retrospect, I like Banjo-Kazooie way more than I like Mario 64.
Yeah, I
think that they both. I think they both are N64 games, and therefore are effectively garbage. But I think that Banjo-Kazooie ages better marginally.
I think it does age better for new players, just because it feels like it's at least a little bit better at showing what's going on. Then again, there's a lot of collectibles, which is interesting. Just the sheer number of different things you can collect. It's less than DK64, but still a lot. Yeah, exactly. But no, it's cool. I'm down. So that, and then the last one from Game Pass is one that I've been seeing stuff on. I follow Thunderful Publishing because them for people, they publish SteamWorld Quest and all that. They came out of, they published SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Quest, whatever. And they published a game called Lonely Mountains Downhill, and I've seen a bunch of it online on Twitter, and I'm like, that looks fun, but I never did anything about it. And it's on Game Pass, and man, it is fun. So it's a good just little play it a little bit here and there game. All right, I'm gonna blast through the last ones because again, I've been playing some games. Got Pikmin 3 for Christmas. Been playing Pikmin 3. It's great. I love it. I enjoy it a lot. More Phoenix Rising and Age of Calamity. Again, they're great. I just unlocked some characters in Age of Calamity that I think are funny. So there's that. And I got Ashley Rayman Legends and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon for Christmas, and we've been playing a little bit of Rayman Legends. So there's that. And I think that's it. Bunch of games.
Nice. You did it.
Good old time.
You did it. I've also been playing Smash Brothers, but
I care. And the Pokemon trainer cares. Are you playing more Sephiroth and stuff again still?
I'm playing Sephiroth for the people, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already to the point where it's I got to where I wanted to get with Sephiroth, where it's I could play him against most people and do okay. But I don't like him enough to I'm getting him in Elite Smash. I don't care about the character that much. Or at all, really. But I don't care about him enough in the game. I do think he's fun in the game.
Yeah.
But again, I'm in the part of the game where it's like, at first I didn't know exactly where he was, like tier wise and stuff like that. I don't know how good or bad this character is. Now I'm starting to understand he's not bad, but he's not as good as a lot of people are like, oh man, he's so fast and he has range, so he's going to be like broken. And he's not, because he's slow. And he does have range, but he's slow. So it's like that's like balances him. You know, like he's fast enough where it's like he's not bad, but he's not fast enough to make him broken. And even like the whole thing of like Min Min, right? Like similar archetype of like a lot of range, not slow. So that makes her like annoying to fight.
Yeah.
Gets destroyed by Min. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's a one-player game when you're fighting Min Min as Sephiroth. You can't do anything. Because like if you get knocked off the stage, you're just dead. You're just dead. You're gone. You're gone if you get knocked off stage versus Min Min. And if it's locally, oh my lord. You better hope quarantine never ends if you're a Sephiroth player.
I mean,
not recently. Not a whole lot, but somewhat, a little bit. But yeah, no, Min Min is so much better locally, like so much better, because you can angle stuff and time it better. So it's like online, you can be like, oh, okay, they're recovering. I want to do the freaking ram, and I want to angle it down so that it cuts them off from grabbing the ledge. But online, you could be like, you can think that you're going to do that, but latency says, nah, you're good. Because it's like just off, like just baseline. Yeah, I think it's like 5 extra frames of lag. On top of the fact of like Pro Controller, I think has like 8 extra frames of lag. It might have a little bit more than that. So it's like you have like, and then like human reaction time and all that shit. There's too stuff. Yeah, I almost cursed. Kind of did.
No, I didn't hear it. I heard there's 2 stuff. So
nice. But anyway, it's a lot of crap that goes into reaction time being way worse online because mechanically, mentally, physically, you know, like that whole thing it's a bad cocktail to make Wi-Fi garbage. But yeah, man.
Nice. The last thing I played, I forgot about this. Ashley got me 2 presents for Christmas that came late, but one of them was, I used to have a phone case. Oh, I probably still got it here somewhere. I used to have a phone case that looked like a Game Boy. Here it is, because this is my old phone that's dead right now.
Yo, I had one of those, dude. So
there you go. Look, it says Parker Deal on it and everything. Looks like a Game Boy. She got me this one from Etsy that
is it a straight up Game Boy?
It's not specifically a Game Boy, but yes, pretty much. It's got like some kind of emulator running in it that's running some. I mean, it was straight up drop shipped from China, because I mean the box is just straight up from China. But yeah, I thought that was great. So yeah, I can play. It's got some of these are the right names: Super Contra, Super Mario Brothers, Tetrasa, Boom Man.
Nice.
There's Boom Man for you. Galaga, Excite Bike, Donkey Kong, etc., etc. So, but it's got like 36 games on here. So that was a fun thing. I haven't played a whole lot of it, but it's neat just that it's there, because like, you know, I like having a game on my phone to be able to play every once in a while.
You just broke it live on the podcast.
I sure did. But that was a fun thing from my wife, so it's neat. So that's what we've been playing. But now let's get into just some news.
Well, we've been playing even more.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so one thing I do want to shout out is we did a video this right before Christmas that we're just very thankful to a bunch of our friends to be a part of it. It was it's definitely the longest video we've ever made that I'm aware of on Fanatix Four.
By far. Other than podcasts, there's like some podcasts that are still on the main channel.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think. Have there been any others that were more than 25 minutes? Or no. Sorry, more than 20 minutes? I don't think so.
Yes.
More than 20?
There's the one video that I did.
Oh, that indie one?
No, the revisions video, the Nintendo.
Oh, the hardware. Yeah, the like history one.
Some nonsense like that. And then after I did that, I was like, I'm never doing that again. And then here we are.
Here we are.
But I didn't do the bulk of the like assembly. That's the worst part, is the assembly edit. I love doing the stuff of like, I'm gonna like freaking.
Yeah, you did a great job at that.
And E tried to give me crap. Where he was like about the thing, and I was like, that has nothing to do with me.
No, that was entirely my fault.
The thing that sucks is like, do anything about that.
Yeah, So I don't know what happened because in the original file, it's still, so what we're talking about is for some reason, well,
it's because it's 4K and your
because
timeline's
4K
in 1080p and you didn't zoom out. But again,
so, and I did in the,
it's his fault because Bob specifically told you, yo, this is 4K. Be aware of that.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything.
So I fixed Bob's and I fixed Dan's, but I didn't fix E's.
I told
or I did, but
what I said to E was, this is your brand, dude. Like, that's why this happened to you. Because if it was anybody else, if it was Bob, I would have been like, Bob wouldn't want his video to look like that. Clearly, it's because it's in 4K and so on and so forth.
Right, yeah.
Because, like, I don't expect you to know that. You just started editing videos last year. So,
I mean, so the thing, too, is, like, for when in the timeline, it looks right, or I did it right. I framed it to size, but I think because my computer's just super slow. When it exported, it just forgot for some reason, I guess, to flip the switch of resizing it. It just rendered it in 4K, even though when I watched it back, and I like went through it, I watched back through in timeline, but like my computer took like probably 2 hours to export the whole thing because, it was a long video and my computer is really old and stuff. But at that point, it crashed my computer once to export it. And then the second time it works, but I don't think I would have had enough time to do it again anyway. So it's like, what I should have done is watched it back after exporting it and then sent you that file or something like that. But it sucks, but it is.
Yeah, I would have fixed it if I knew, but I did not. I just was like, okay, well, this is what they want then. But
yeah.
That's what it is.
Sorry,
watch the video. It's a cool video.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. It's all your fault. You did this to yourselves.
So in 2020, we had a great year. It was fun. Well, we had a year. It existed. There were great things. There were also some garbage things.
We met this year physically.
We did. That was fun.
Or last year now.
That's true. Yeah. Oh no, we'd met technically the year before.
Oh yeah, true. At the end of of 2019. Okay, you're right. So no, this year's garbage.
But this, I mean, for literally like dinner, like one meal, that didn't really count. So, but this year we got to have packs and stuff, which was great. Yeah. So, but now moving into 2021,
I just canceled the hotel for PAX this year. But I mean, for two reasons. First of all, it's because it's not in March anymore. They pushed it. Second of all, I'm not freaking going to a convention in 2021. I'm not doing it. It's still not a good idea at all.
Even if we get vaccines by then and stuff. It's
I don't trust people. I don't trust people that much.
It's
even
so
that,
funny
like,
to think.
even just going to that's the thing that like blew my mind when we were going, because it was like at the beginning of all of this.
So there was one person in Boston that had COVID at that point, and I remember everybody was like, we're gonna die from this one person. And like now there's like there's just thousands of people walking around doing nothing about it with COVID.
But for me it was like, then it was like, dude, I wash my hands, like I take precautions just generally, like that's why it's like I never get sick at conventions, because I wash my hands, dude. It's like, but people are gross, so that, like, that was the thing. But now it's like, nah man, there's too many now.
Yeah.
Back then that was enough to just be like, I wash my hands, that's fine. But now it's like, nah, dude. Like Bob was talking about, he wants to go to Japan in August. I'm like, dude, I don't know if that's gonna happen for me, dude. Like, I want to go to Japan because Super Nintendo Land.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
It'd be late. But no, not in 2021. Maybe 2022. Maybe 2023. But by then, freaking the Orlando one's probably going to be a thing in 2023.
Also,
but I still.
I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like, so everybody knows, we made well, maybe not everybody knows because YouTube. You made rides that you want to see at the Super Nintendo World and stuff. But at that point, like, it was known that it was going to happen, but it wasn't like the talk of the town or whatever. I do wonder if, like, kind of now, because it would be fun to make some more videos.
Yeah, like if we did it now.
And so
we'll do it after. We'll do it after. No, I don't want to do it because YouTube's dumb. I was about to say we'll do it like after a banger, but like YouTube's stupid. So like if we do like a video that does really well and then we do a video that we know is not going to do well, I don't know if that'll like kill the momentum from the video that does really well. It used to not do that. That used to be the strat of like, oh, I had a video that did really good, so now I'm just going to do whatever now. But now YouTube's like stupid.
Yeah, but I'd be interested to go more in depth too on. So, okay, everybody, here's pretty much the premise of what the video is going to be, but I'll talk about it in more depth if we do it at all. I think it's really interesting that when we were watching that thing on the last podcast live, it was last podcast, I think, they talked about how Super Nintendo World was originally planned, or they've been working on this for 7 years or something. So they started planning it. And we mentioned this.
Like in the Wii U era. It was like 2015.
In the Wii U era.
I think is when they started.
Which means like, so, and then a couple of years ago in like 2017 or 2018, we found out that Orlando's Super Nintendo World was moving from being small in the kids area to buying their own plot of land and being big and then having that be Pokemon area. And 100%, that seems like it's just because they're like, oh crap, Nintendo's doing great now. So now we can expand and like do some more stuff. So like, I don't know, thinking a little bit more in depth about that whole thing and that timeline and what that means for their investments with, because a lot of these projects like the movies and stuff like that take a long time to get off the ground. So Universal was probably not hesitant, but like, you know, playing it a little bit safer at the offset. And then now they're like, we got to get this stuff going as soon as possible to monopolize on it. Monopolize?
No, that's not it.
That's not the right word. What is the right word? To
capitalize.
Capitalize.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that far, dude.
No,
capitalism, monopolies. Yep. I saw where your head was at, dude.
Yeah. Thank you for being gracious. But that said, 2020 is over. It was a time. 2021. Let's talk about our hopes and dreams for Nintendo.
We didn't even look at our 2020, dude. That's
you're
bad.
So right.
We got to look at our 2020 first before we look at the future.
We totally do. All right. So do you want to go first?
I can go. Well, you go first because, like, I think that you going first will contextualize me because I feel. Well, then again, I don't know. Maybe you did play more games than me because I actually played less games this year than I did last year.
I think I have fewer number of games. Maybe not.
No,
I've got a couple more hours.
Like I definitely played less games, but I have less hours than I did last year.
Gotcha. So here we go. Parker's 2020. This is the thing from that I was saying on the last podcast. I was like, I bet these are going to happen like anytime now, and they finally did, and I'm happy about it. People were posting about these on their Twitter timelines recently. But,
it's true. I saw everybody doing it, and I was like, no, I will refrain because we do this on the podcast.
Same. So this is my year in review. Parker, what kind of gamer were you? A core gamer.
Wow. Fake fan.
No, wow. I do wonder how many different categories of things
I
are
saw
there.
3 so far, but I don't remember the other one. I just know I saw 3.
What are the other ones that you remember?
I saw the one that I am, which we'll see. And then there was one other one that I don't remember.
There was one I saw, like, somebody that pretty much only played Animal Crossing. There was a specific one for that where it was like an island getaway gamer or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly the verbiage, but
that's crazy because that must mean like they probably broke it down into like likely scenario, or not even necessarily likely stuff that happened a lot. Where it's like, a lot of people played only Animal Crossing, so
they're like 90% Animal Crossing. Like I'm sure if we looked at my wife's, actually, wait, I could probably pull that up. I got her login somewhere. While you're doing that, I'll see if I can do hers.
Let's do it after we do mine.
So core gamer. In any case, look at that. You're a skilled, experienced gamer who's always up for a challenge. Neato. 2020 in hindsight, I played 684 hours, which compares to 633 in 2019. Oh, and I did play more games. I played 61 games this year in comparison to 52 the year before.
Yep. So you played more games than me in both ways, but not hours wise. Like you played more games than me
in terms
longer than you did last year.
Yeah.
Because like even last year you played like both years you played more games than I did, like quantity wise.
Yeah. So and like also when it says 61 games, that includes like demos and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's like individual things
it's like
from
just
the eShop.
when you open it, like if you just open it, you don't even have
because
to
like really I think I counted, it's more like somewhere in the vein of like 25 actual games that I played this year in terms of like really playing them, but you know, whatever. But like I did that one video on demos on the eShop, so that right there is like 12 games that I played the demo of, but still I'm sure that's the case kind of for everybody. Your most played games by hours: Animal Crossing New Horizons #1, Divinity Original Sin Definitive Edition, which was split across. I'm pretty sure it was my number 2 or 3 in 2019 as well.
I think it shows you under this.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so it was number 4 in. I think I'd only played like 25 hours or no, because there's more than this. So like 40 hours or so in 2019 under Divinity. But that's my number 2, Divinity Original Sin 2. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition #3, Immortals Phoenix Rising
That's
#4.
wild. You played Pokemon Let's Go more than you played Pokemon Sword or Shield last year.
Oh wow, yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I got it for Christmas in 2018. And I did a bunch of like shiny hunting and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, true.
So that's probably something. Whereas
shiny
Pokemon
hunting will
Sword
do
and
that too.
Shield,
You just
I just
through
played
it.
the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I probably had like 25 hours in Sword and Shield, something like that. Whereas these ones, I think it was like probably 35 in Ys 8, 40-ish in Divinity Original Sin, probably 45 in Super Mario Maker, 50-ish in Pokemon Let's Go. But yeah, and then lastly for this year, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, which, like, interestingly enough, other than Animal Crossing and Divinity Original Sin, none of these have I played for that long, because Ni no Kuni, it's less than 25 hours that I've put into it, I think. So, I mean, again, not that long by, these standards.
Yeah, you just started the game, dude. All these games are 5,000 hour long games.
Right. Man, I do love a long game. But yeah, there you go. My most played games, it's those ones. Side note, I don't like the fact that when you get a new Switch or when you play a same game across multiple Switches on your account, that it counts it on your like, all the games page.
Yeah, I think that we'll see that when it gets to mine.
So, but okay, most active day by hours, Sunday, March 22nd, which was Animal Crossing time.
Yeah,
right?
2 days after Animal Crossing came
out. Oh man. So look at this. You can tell when lockdown happened. So a decent amount in January, that was Divinity, through March, also Divinity in February and March. And then March and April, Animal Crossing a whole ton, pretty much mostly Animal Crossing probably. And then throughout the year, October not very much, November a decent amount. So that's Age of Calamity and Immortals Phoenix Rising, and December some more and stuff, and some other things, I guess, in there, some other games. I don't remember what. Probably Super Mario All-Stars, and there you go. And I earned some gold points, which there it is. I don't know. I played 4 Mario games and I only did 4 mission things and things. I think that's it. What next? I do like that it says recommended games, because that's a good idea.
Oh, you didn't play Good Job, dude?
No, I didn't. I played literally the first mission of it on your profile like a week ago. It was fun. I need to do more.
Still counts it to me. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
So there it is. Dragon Quest is still one. That's one of the recommended ones on here. Also, Ultimate Chicken Horse, 100%. I need to buy that because it's a great game. Have you played that at all?
I played it on my aunt's Switch.
Okay, cool. It's fun. It's a good, multiplayer one, especially with people who kind of know how to play games but aren't like super into it. Like
they know how to play games but they suck. Here's
all right, let's take a look at AJ's.
Here we are. It's my 2020. It has my name and
oh, it sure does.
I represent, dude, but you don't. I'm a Nintendo fan, dude.
Wow.
You mostly play games published by Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
A Nintendo loyalist through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that would be the case on all of my consoles. That's why I have the specific console that I have,
right.
To play their games.
Yeah.
I played 1,500 hours.
Boy, howdy.
258 less than last year.
Mm-hmm.
I played 38 games, 9 less than last year.
Indeed.
And these are my most played games. Smash, obviously. And then there's the thing is it's a huge drop off because Smash Brothers is probably 800 hours or something like that.
Yeah, if not
Animal
more.
Crossing is no, it's probably less than that. Because in total I have 1,500. And the game came out 3 years ago.
Right.
So, but yeah, Animal Crossing is 200.
Right.
No, I think it's less than that actually. Animal Crossing is probably 175 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pokemon this year specifically is probably 60.
Mm-hmm.
Yu-Gi-Oh's probably 20 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then Paper, I don't even know because this is probably mostly you. I don't even know.
Probably so. I want to say somewhere in the 20-ish kind of range, I would guess.
And then this was last year. See, Smash
Look
Brothers,
at that.
which was probably 900 then.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pokemon, which was 100.
Mm-hmm.
And Splatoon was probably 40. And then I know this was 20 or something like that. And then this is probably 10. So just a huge drop off for me because it's a huge concentration in the games that I play.
Mm-hmm.
if Animal Crossing wasn't here, the like 50% of the, if not 75% of this would just be Pokemon and Smash combined. Because it's like, if I play a game, like I probably play the other games that I play roughly as much as you play the games that you finish, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But like Smash Brothers, I play a lot. Like I'll play Smash Bros at least once a day. And I was talking about this with Lee. Like Lee, I think pretty much everybody that plays Smash Brothers in the way that like I play Smash Brothers, like we have way more hours in it that than we were actually playing the game. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Like Lee has like 4,000 hours in it. He's not playing the game 4,000 hours. He just has that game on all the time. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll jump in and I'll play 2 matches and then I'll go do whatever. But I'm just going to leave the game on because why not? That is less to like the degree that it is for Lee, because like I said, Lee has 4,000. I have like a fourth with that. But again, yeah, I think like total playtime, actual playtime is still like 1,000 hours or something. But yeah, here's the breakdown by like the days and stuff. I don't think like lockdown didn't really have a, because I'm, you know,
right.
I don't freaking.
It just meant that you were playing 2 games a lot instead of just 1 game a lot, or like 3 instead of 2 or something like that.
Yeah. But I mean, like lockdown didn't really have that big of an impact on me specifically, because like March wasn't like the peak for me. It was April, and then it like tapered off, and then it went back up a little bit, and then I don't know what happened in September, but September it was just like whatever. And October.
I love that Paper Mario is on yours because of me.
Yeah, entirely. It's number 5 because of you.
Yep.
November 20th. What happened November 20th?
Pokemon?
Oh yeah.
Maybe, or around Pokemon at least.
And
I was able to log into Ashley's, by the way.
Nice. We'll check that out after this. We're almost done. I got 2,000 points, but like a lot of this is cheating, which I mean I assume is similar for you, because it's like the games.
How so cheating?
If you redeem a game of a code that was sent to you, those give you gold points.
Are you sure? I don't think they do for some reason.
Really?
Okay.
Positive.
Because I was gonna say I feel like I should have more, but I don't because of those games.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like less coins, but they definitely give you coins.
I'll keep an eye out on it next time to see for sure.
But yeah, I don't even know how I did this mission.
What Mario game did you play this year that I didn't play him? I only played 4. You played 5.
Did you play Mario 35?
Yeah, a little bit.
I played Mario Kart.
Maybe I didn't play Mario Maker at all, and maybe you opened it once. Oh, wait, Paper Mario. I didn't play it on my account.
Oh, yeah, true.
That's the one. That's really funny.
That's true. Again, special events, blah, blah. What's next? Pokemon Shield? I played this already, Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have this.
Yeah, that's funny.
I have this on Xbox. I will never play this.
You have Minecraft Nintendo Switch Edition on your Xbox? How'd you do that?
I'm a wizard.
Just kidding. You are a wizard. All right, here we go. I'll share Ashley's, and then we'll finish up with this. So this will be fast, but sure enough, what kind of player were you this year? Getaway traveler.
Getaway traveler.
That's a straight up thing. 2020 in hindsight, 333 hours. In 2019, he tallied 11 hours.
That's crazy.
A lot of Animal Crossing. Number of games, 12, and most played games. I mean, it's just a super steep drop. 95% of that is Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And then there's some probably 10, 15, 20-ish hours in Mario U Deluxe. But like Greece is like 2, Jackpot Party Pack 3 is like less than 1 or 1, and then Phoenix Wright is 1 or something like that. So yep. It's just funny.
Nice.
So there it is. And then 0 hours in January and February, and then lots the rest of the year from Animal Crossing. So there it is.
How do you get 3 coins? How does that happen?
That is a great maybe a game on sale. You know, if it's like at a weird like $6.95 or something or whatever. All right, but so that was our 2020s in review.
It's true.
It was a great time. Look at that. And now let's talk about 2021. So our what I titled it in the document was our hopes and pipe dreams for Nintendo and Fanatix Four in 2021. So I don't know. It's very open-ended, but like what are some things we want to see from Nintendo this year? Some of it, obviously, we covered in your video and some other videos we've made, but like open floor as we start off the year.
I want Super Smash Brothers Ultimate 2.
I mean, that's going to happen, so you can't just
Obviously.
say that. Yeah, it's coming out this year. Okay, so one of the things for me, again, this is maybe more in the, I'm not sure if this is hope or a pipe dream or what, but like I'd like at least one send off Nintendo Direct. Like if they're done with the Nintendo Directs and doing stuff different, that's fine. But if I were them, if I were Nintendo, it went pretty well to announce things differently this past year. But I would probably still A/B one last time to do like one more big Nintendo Direct, see how that
I hope if they
out.
do one more, it's like the first one. I hope it's like garbage. So they're like, see, this is why we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah. So it's just, I think those are fun, but like, you know, at the same time,
but
they'll do
the thing about Nintendo Directs is I feel similarly about Nintendo Directs that I do about Smash Bros. Announcements, where it's like I think they're cool, like for me personally, but I don't like them because of how they make other people
yes
act.
Right, yeah, I'm totally with you there. So and the tricky thing is like, are people, because of not having them for a year, are people's expectations lower or higher? Probably higher, unfortunately. You know, that's the problem
for sure. 1000% higher.
Yeah, so I don't know how that pans out, but I think that's one thing for this year that I'd like to see, you know, whether it be probably not January.
They gotta keep freaking Nintendo Directs, because what will we do now? The show, what is this show now, dude? It's not even a reference at that point.
It's not. So
it's a retro show at that point.
Yeah, so that's one thing for me. What about you? Anything come to mind?
I want to see. Let's see. What do I want? I like to see more representation from like older IPs this year.
Yep.
There's a lot of anniversaries. I want to see them, because like this year there were like a couple of anniversaries that happened. I was like, oh, they're probably not. When I made that video, I was like, they're probably not going to talk about these, but
I mean, like Fire Emblem, that was
exactly a surprising amount of anniversaries from this year. They actually did something for even Game & Watch. So it's like,
that's true.
It'd be dope if they did the same thing for. I mean, I like the tweet earlier today. I think. Let me see if I can find the tweet that like talked about all the like.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Maybe I just saw it from where you liked it, but it had a list of like, I don't know, like 30 different, and like not all Nintendo ones, but just.
I don't think it was that many.
I'm
at least
bad
the
at
one that I
estimating
like.
numbers.
Yeah, no, it's like 10 maybe. There's Sonic, Pokemon, Zelda, Dragon. Well, I'll say 30th anniversary for Sonic, 25th anniversary for Pokemon, 35th anniversary for Zelda, 35th anniversary for Dragon Quest, 20th anniversary for Halo, 35th anniversary for Metroid, 40th anniversary for Donkey Kong, the 25th anniversary for Resident Evil, and 25th for Persona.
Oh, I see the one you're looking at. Yeah, the one I looked at was a picture. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but there's a picture and it had probably like 20, 25, but it wasn't all Nintendo stuff. It was like Overwatch was on there too, and some other ones. Either, oh yeah, you're right, because some of those ones I wasn't.
Because Persona and Resident Evil and Halo and Dragon Quest.
No, Persona's Nintendo.
And Sonic. Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just scrolling through my Twitter to see if I can find it, but I'm probably not going to. I totally agree. That's what the next thing I was going to say was a return of just like some Nintendo IPs of some sort. Like Star Fox is a big one for me that I feel like it hasn't really missed many generations. So like it seems like it's I mean, there wasn't a Star Fox on Wii. There wasn't a Star Fox on Wii. But there was a Star Fox on pretty much every other console that I can think of. Like, yeah, I mean, since SNES for sure, Star Fox 64 for sure, not on Game Boy and stuff, obviously, but like GameCube.
There's one on DS, so there was one during that era. Like,
Star Fox 64 3D which is a remake, but still
so that was like
counts.
also like 3D and Wii U. So during that era, we got two.
Yep. So like, it seems like one that they've at least been trying to keep alive. So like, would be cool if they, you know, kind of tried to go all out for it, or not even necessarily go all out, but at least just do something. But I kind of feel like they sort of need to go all out. Otherwise it's just doomed to fail.
Yeah, I think like Star Fox is one of those franchises that like it just would be dumb of them to not maintain in some way, because Star Fox is so iconic. Like there's like F-Zero, right? And Captain Falcon's like really iconic, but he's not iconic in his game. He's iconic because of Smash Brothers. I think that Star Fox is iconic largely due to Smash Brothers, but also because of his game, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because like,
enough people are like, yeah, Star Fox 64, you know, like that's a standalone thing in their mind on top of Smash.
And it's like with F-Zero, like I don't know if many people identify F-Zero specifically with being a Captain Falcon thing, and he's the most iconic thing of that franchise, and it's not because of the franchise. I think that like the most iconic Star Fox thing is do a barrel roll, you know? And that's like decisively from Star Fox. 100%. So it kind of wouldn't really make sense for them to like completely drop Star Fox. The other like franchises that they haven't made games for in a long time, with the exception of, I guess, Donkey Kong, but even that, like, we got a remaster or a port of Tropical Freeze, and
which
Tropical
that said,
Freeze
it's Donkey Kong's
isn't super far.
It's the 40th anniversary. I'm still scrolling through Twitter, by the way, as we're talking. It's the 40th anniversary of Donkey Kong, which maybe you said that earlier. I can't remember.
Yeah, I said that. That was like in the list.
So yeah, that's also that could very well come back. There's just a bunch of those kinds of things that like, especially as I was making my video this week, the whole reason that I thought about it was because like at this point I would have expected more older franchises to come back. We've talked about that in videos before, but like Nintendo just hasn't done that as much as I expect them to. So now it's like, okay, either they're going to keep reaching back and do some more stuff with those, like, you know, again, and it's not like that obscure of a franchise. Donkey Kong, Star Fox, whatever, like those are big franchises. But either they keep bringing those back and do new games in the franchises that they haven't done yet, or they start making sequels of franchises that are already on Switch. But I hope that this, you know, they do both in conjunction, and that it's not just like, okay, we did 3 years of the Switch, now we're going to do the same 3 years, but with sequels of them.
Yeah,
you know?
And also, I think that it's just would be smart of them to take the franchises that they haven't made in a long time because they feel like they don't have ideas for them, just give them to other people. And I don't mean like 100%. Literally like sell it off, you know. I don't think that Star Fox should become like a Sega IP or anything like that. But for the ones that they don't know what to do with, they, oh, we don't know what to do with F-Zero, so we will give it to Criterion or whatever and let them make a game, even though I think that they said that they didn't want to do that. But you know, something like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like Ubisoft doing some stuff like, exactly. I mean, like lots of straight up F-Zero fans will say that like Fast RMX is not the same.
Yeah, I don't like that game.
Whatever. But at the same time,
it's better than nothing. Saying, like if they make a new F-Zero game from that team.
I think, like, to be honest, I don't think Shinen was ever being like, this is F-Zero. Maybe they were. I don't know. But, like, it seems like they were like, this is the game that we want to make. And it's definitely got some F-Zero inspiration from it. But, like, if it's just not supposed to be the same thing, then that's different than them trying to make the same thing but failing at it or something like that. Like, again, it's the same as, like, Octopath wasn't a replacement for Golden Sun for me or for anybody. It was just a different thing, but it wasn't ever trying to be specifically a replacement for Golden Sun. It was just supposed to be something that like happens to, for me, be like a little bit similar. So it's fun, you know? So no, I totally agree. I'd love to see more IPs get used by third-party developers in some way because, you know, and like Nintendo does a good job, I think, of overseeing those and working with them to, like, so many of those developers, I think, care enough about the IP in general and would be honored to work on it, that they're like, we're going to do this thing justice because this is going to be our only shot to make, you know, this kind of game or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm down. Yeah. So I agree. I stole yours and added onto it because together. But like, yeah, I don't know. What else for Nintendo in 2021? I mean, new hardware, I guess, was something that we've said a bunch of times. We don't have to go in depth on that.
Yeah, I'm indifferent to that. Like, it'd be cool if there's new hardware, but I'm not like chomping at the bit for it.
Right.
Because the only like real benefit I see to new hardware is like more third-party games, maybe. And as we can see on my year wrapper thing, I don't care about third-party games that much. Yeah. So like, I can take them or leave them. But, I mean, yeah, it'd be cool if new hardware, sure.
Yeah.
Because I'll buy it. But
yeah. Another thing I thought about is like more games service kind of stuff, like N64 stuff, but also like equivalent to Game Pass kinds of things. Like any of those kinds of things where like you can get a bunch of games all in one, whether it's Nintendo's classic things
or channels like Amazon. I went a Pokemon channel.
Yep.
Because even if it's like $10 a month or whatever, and it's like all the Game Boy Advance and like Game Boy Color Pokemon games for $10 a month, I'd pay that, dude.
For sure. I think honestly, like having Game Pass is helpful a little bit for me too, where I don't feel the same kind of like seeing that I have all these games. I don't feel the same pressure. Exactly. Like
I feel like I do just generally about every game.
Exactly that. I thought about those exact thoughts. Like, yeah, this is what AJ must feel like.
This is what AJ feels like all the time.
And it's funny because like it even is applying to games that aren't on Game Pass a little bit too, where like because there's now just so many, I'm kind of like, you know what? It's fine if I don't finish. Like, I don't know. I'm playing Immortals Phoenix Rising and still having a good time, but I don't feel the same kind of pressure to finish it, even though I probably will just because I enjoy playing it. But there's other things like that where like other than games that it's like I just want to see how it ends, I'm feeling less of that. And so being able to have a service like that on Switch,
I don't know if it's freeing because I've never not felt like that.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I think so, which has also allowed me to play more different games. And so I like that, that's how it is. So yeah, those are the things I think off the top of my head that I would like to see from Nintendo this year.
I want Nintendo to buy NASA.
And then put a real Star Fox in space. Exactly. That's what I want. Yeah. Or Pikmin in space. Fox. Yeah.
No, they're too small. It's not worth it.
Small.
They're very small. Put a Metroid in space. Put a Metroid.
Just a Metroid.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have something else, I thought there was something else that I thought of, but overall, I think, it was just that like, I'd like Nintendo to keep showing that they care about their fans or whatever. Like that's a very vague thing.
I don't care about that. but I mean, I think that's a slippery slope.
It is. Because I think that means different things for different people and stuff as well. So like, I mean it in terms of what it means for me, but not what it means for anybody else. I guess, so like, just that. So
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And then lastly, obviously the games that I want in 2021, I want to come in 2021. Breath of the Wild 2, Silk Song,
Pong 2.
Yes, finally.
Can't wait for
and then what about Pokemon the second half of that?
2.
True. Pokemon 2.
There's never been a Pokemon 2, dude.
That's true. Pokemon Black and White 2.
But that's not Pokemon 2.
Pokemon Stadium 2.
It's like how that would be like Final Fantasy if Final Fantasy 1 was Final Fantasy 1-2. That's what Pokemon's doing, But there's no Pokemon 2, dude. It's not a single one. Just like there's no Pong 2, you know? I think
there's no Tetris 2. Is there? Oh, I think
there's like something like
we both went there. I'm looking up Tetris 2. Tetris 2. Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah, I was pretty sure. There's no Minecraft 2 either. So
no, there's not.
There's no World of Warcraft. Wait, is there? No, there's no World of Warcraft 2. There's Warcraft 2, but there's no World of Warcraft 2.
Right. Yeah, I guess they just call it like Classic Edition or something like that for the older ones. And then I think there's technically like we're on the third kind of generation of World of Warcraft.
But it's not like Minecraft, dude.
Yeah, right.
It's like.
It's crazy how
Minecraft 2.
I was watching a thing on the whole Dream. I haven't watched barely anything on it, but I watched a video on the Dream scandal. Do you know anything about that? long story short,
him, but I don't know nothing.
I didn't know anything about it other than this one video that I watched. The long story short is, from what it looks like, and this thing seemed pretty confident. They're like, yeah, he did it. He was playing on. There was a speedrunning category that he was playing in that, or just like the newest version of it changed some RNG to where it's way harder to get certain items that let you do the end game faster. And so pretty much like he did a whole bunch of streams, and then there was like some fishy stuff where it's like he's getting this RNG stuff like more often than he should, and that seems kind of fishy. And sure enough, like they did a bunch of tests and stuff, and it's like, yeah, there's no way he could have gotten that. It's like one in several trillion that blah 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 blah.
I didn't even know this dude existed until the Game Theory charity live stream thing.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, oh, he's a person that exists, I guess. And I don't even remember what he sounds like or nothing like that. I just saw his like profile picture or whatever, and I was like, okay, but I don't know anything about this dude.
Yep. So there's that. But yeah, whatever. I don't remember even what I was saying, but it doesn't matter because what we're going to say now.
Something
what
about Minecraft too?
Oh yeah. They're on version 1.16, which is like crazy that it's been out for so long.
Minecraft 2.0.
I know, right? Like, that's the thing that's baffling to me. I mean, obviously it means that they're like, it just means the foundation is staying the same, which is cool or whatever, but like still weird.
No, it's not. Like, I went Minecraft 2. I don't know what they would do with it, and neither do they, clearly. But I want it. I don't even play Minecraft 1.
So that's what we want from Nintendo in 2021. What about a glimpse into Fanatix Four for 2021?
Are we going to tell people about the thing? I don't know if we're going to tell
I don't think so. No, yeah. I think we hold on to that because we were just talking about something before we recorded. But anything that we do, I mean, this isn't even like we don't have specific things to announce, but like just I don't know. What do you want to see out of this channel in 2021?
I don't know, dude. More videos, more subscribers, more viewers, more people hanging out, more people asking questions on Discord for this show. You know, 1,000 subscribers on directly to you.
Yep, that'd be nice. We're close. It's just, you know, this is something that like you guys have so much patience to watch this because it's long and like not everybody has that or wants that. So like, you know, we appreciate every single person that's like, I'm gonna listen to these dudes talk for 2 hours.
Also. I mean, I already talked about that. I have a rough idea of schedule, what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get a graphic of that made before next week, but who knows if that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, streams, do that more. Other stuff that we talked about.
Yep.
But apparently we're not talking about it.
I think, right, yeah. I mean, I'm liking also that which maybe for this thing that we were talking about, this won't be the case, but just keep being in each other's, like doing videos together.
We can
I
do
think,
the thing that we talked about.
Maybe, yeah. We'll just have to figure. I just wonder if it's something where like those videos are more like how you were like, it's not worth being in Parker's Immortal Phoenix Rising
I think that
video.
for this specifically, we could break it up and have the different sections that are well defined.
Yeah.
And think of it together. You know, it's like, sense, or not together, but like swap them off. Be like, you care about this more than I do generally, so you do this section. Yeah. Almost like we're like both reviewing the same game. Because like something that we talked about before, me and Logan, we talked about doing a thing of like where we not really.
I'm just kidding. How's Logan doing?
He's okay. Cool. But we talked about doing videos together in a different way, where it's like we like, you know, hand it off back and forth and, you know, give those varying perspectives. And I think that that doesn't really work for Action Point specifically because it's usually driving to a point.
Yes.
And if the other person is going against what one person says, it doesn't really work. Yeah. But
in 12 minutes is hard to be like, here's this side and this other side and this other side.
Directly to you is that's what directly to you is. It's I say something, you say I don't really agree with that because this, and this, right? And then it's like
no, not right. I don't agree with that because of this. I'm just kidding.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, that's what this is. So I think more things can be that, and the thing that we're talking about can be that. Especially since it's not. I wonder if people will be able to figure out what it is just based on how I don't think they will. No. But like it's not like fictional. I mean, it's not non-fictional. It's fictional. It's something that we're making up decisively. So it won't be as hard to break it up like that. Because you can't really agree on something disagree on something that doesn't exist. You know?
Right, yeah.
It's like, so it just whoever has more ideas for what it probably will be or won't be or it should be or whatever.
Yeah. Is the main person, and then no, I'm excited for this thing we were talking about. It was I think it's a good, we were kind of saying before, it's a good culmination of the things that we already do, but doing them in a slightly different way that's maybe unique to us. But yeah, I think those are things that I want out of 2020. Same stuff you said, just
a billion subscribers, dude.
2 billion. A billion too. That's because the sequel. Lastly, you know what? I'll just do this one fast because there's not a whole lot to talk about this, but we found out the best-selling indie games of 2020 on the Switch. And so here's a list of some of them. I'll share my screen.
Nice.
All right, here's just a picture with all of them. And I'm sure this actually means there's I forgot to press the actual share button. There it is. I'm sure there's games that sold more than some of these.
I've never heard of at least 5 of these.
But I think these are just the ones that came out in 2020 that were the best selling. So I'm sure Golf Story. Well, maybe not.
I never heard of Kentucky Route Zero.
Oh, really? That's one of the ones that I have heard of because it was in the first Nindies Direct back in 2017, and then just disappeared completely.
That's a bet. I've definitely heard of probably all of these, but I've never retained any of them.
Right?
It's a better way to describe it. I don't remember freaking Kentucky Route Zero. Neon Abyss. I think I've seen this logo, but I don't know exactly what it is. I never connected in my head if it was is it an anime? Is that, I don't know.
I don't remember. I feel like this is one. There's one, and it might be this one or it might be a different thing. There's one where you're it's like a cyberpunk world and you're in a cab and talking to the cab driver, and maybe that seems like it could be that one, but maybe
something else. I thought that was something else.
I think that's something else.
And then Super Mega Baseball, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, never heard of that. But the other ones, I'll just read all of them. What the Golf, Kentucky Route Zero, Spiritfarer, Ori Will of the Wisps, Jackbox Party Pack 7, Carry On, Streets of Rage 4, Hades, Neon Abyss, Shantae and the Seven Sirens, Moving Out, Super Mega Baseball 3, Crosscode, Superliminal, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, and Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon 2.
I feel bad because apparently Will wanted to play Streets of Rage 4. But it's $25 or something like that, and they didn't send him a code, and I'm like, why? Because I'm pretty sure they sent me a code, but I think I redeemed it, and that's why I feel bad. I would have totally gave it to him.
Beat 'em ups are just not quite my thing for the most part. Especially I could see Scott Pilgrim versus the World that's coming out.
I thought that's beat 'em up. Especially the YouTuber.
No. That's funny. No, just the genre. I don't know. I'm not.
Oh wait, I didn't redeem it. Hold on, wait. Let me see if I can find this. I'll send it to you if I can.
I was gonna say I didn't remember seeing it in your re-download things. But
yeah, because I'm pretty sure I have a code for this. But
of these though, if anybody's curious, the ones that I would recommend that I've played, because I haven't played a ton of these. Obviously, Spiritfarer is great. Superliminal really was quite good. I enjoyed it quite a lot, especially if you like Portal kinds of things. It's fun. Moving Out is on Game Pass, and I need to play more. I need to get a second controller for the Xbox as part of the thing because that's on Game Pass, but it's definitely a multiplayer game. And then other ones everybody knows. What the Golf, Jackbox Party Pack 7. We got that to play it with some friends, and we played one of the games with them that Ashley and I had played on. Mitch had Jackbox Party Pack 7. We played it with him and his girlfriend, and had a good time. And then we played it with some other friends who they were not into the game, and that was no fun at all. And so we were like, dude, we literally bought this game to play with you guys and then didn't get to. So that was sad. But there it is. And that's about it for the news. AJ's still looking if he finds Streets of Rage 4, but you know what? Let's I
found the email.
Most of that wasn't even
news.
I
never went through and asked for it, but they did email me about requesting it.
Gotcha. Yeah. There it is. So, all right. Hey, let's get into the comments from our videos. AJ, you made a video this week about some things, some stuff, and the things we're most anticipating for 2021.
It's true.
Any thoughts before we go into the comments?
It was so close to being a Pokemon video, but then I was like, nah, there's something else I can do. It's not a Pokemon video. So it ended up not being a Pokemon video. And I didn't even talk about Pokemon that much, all things considered.
Yeah, that's true. Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it, but like not as much as I was going to. If I was going, if I made the video I was going to make, it was probably going to be longer than this video was. You know, diversifying your portfolio, dude.
Not for long. All right, AJ, comments on your video. ThinkCap said, I hope there is a Nintendo Direct, mini or otherwise, in January or February. My hype levels for Bravely Default 2 went through the roof after playing the new final demo. That's going to be classic. My most hype for 2021 is Monster Hunter Rise, though. Can't wait for that. Disgaea 6 and Shin Megami Tensei 5 also might pull me in.
Nice.
I like it. Yeah, I agree with a lot of these things. My real guess is if there is going to be a Nintendo Direct in quarter one, blah blah blah, etc. My guess is that it's going to be like the week after Super Mario 3D World, so February, I don't know, whatever's after the 12th on that, like Thursday, so like the 15th or something like that, February 15th or 16th, somewhere around kind of that range. But before that, we'll probably get just like maybe a mini direct, or not a mini direct, but like a specifically 3D World something or other in like, you know, the end of January or something like that. So yeah, I definitely don't expect,
because I mean, but they did their like promotional strategy was decisively different in the Wii U era than it is now. Because the Wii U era was like they announced everything. They were like, and you unlock Rosalina at the end of the game. It was like, well, I wish they would have not announced that. That would have been cool. But like now they kind of just leave that stuff out. You know, they don't really go into stuff like that. Like they did in the Wii U era. So like maybe if they want to call back to the 3D World era, it's like, and here's what Bowser's Fury is.
I bet they show a little bit more about Bowser's
like there's a lot of stuff in 3D World that they didn't show, you know, because there's like so many extra worlds. And they didn't really talk about all of them. But
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I bet maybe they don't even do, they could just do a treehouse because they've done that recently with some other things.
Literally just do a tweet. Like
honestly, 100%. Like a tweet with a little video that's like showing a little like Bowser's Fury in action a little bit. And that's it.
I think that it really depends on how effective this year was for them.
100%.
Like I was saying, like at the start of last year, where it's like, because if this worked for them, why do all the pomp and circumstance where you could just tweet out about all the stuff that you talked about before? Because like honestly, like even as somebody that likes Nintendo Directs, I like okay, you know about this game already. Here it is.
Yeah, right.
This is the info that you have or whatever. It's just an extra user, because like in my mind, like it's very rare for me to see a game that I already know exists in a Direct and be hype about seeing it again, even if it's a game that I'm excited for. I just like whatever the game is, it's like, okay, I know that this is a thing. I don't need to see it anymore. You know,
I think honestly, what in my mind could work really well is do honestly like one Direct a year. Just do it in February or March or something like that to set up some of the things for the year, and then I guess maybe like an E3 one or something like that too. I don't know, but no, I fully agree. That was why like the quarter four, the September Direct in 2019 was kind of a letdown in a lot of ways, because it was like 90% games we already knew about, just a little bit new stuff about them. And that was like, at that point, I'd kind of rather also just get that same information in a tweet or something, you know? So I still feel like if I were Nintendo, I would do, you know, again, B in some way where it's like, okay, last year we did something different. Let's try the normal way again this year. And then we can compare the results easily by going back to it, seeing if it's stronger or not. But yeah, I have no idea who's to say. They could do literally anything they want and it'll work out fine, probably.
It's true.
Yeah, those games, I'm down for those. Bravely Default 2 looks cool. I'll probably go play the final demo before it comes out at this point, just to, because if I play the final demo and I'm not into it straight away, then I know that I'm like just probably not going to bother. But we all know me. I probably will be. So
yeah, you probably will.
Although you also mentioned Disgaea 6 and Shin Megami Tensei 5. I don't know. I definitely not Disgaea 6. I played Disgaea 5 demo when the Switch first came out, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't really care about knowing what's going on. So I don't think it's for me.
That game is very not for me.
Yeah. Cool said, confirmed 2021 games I'm excited for: Super Mario 3D World, both Monster Hunter games, No More Heroes 3. Oh, continues on. Hopes: Cuphead DLC, Mario Strikers Remaster or sequel, Mario Galaxy 2 port.
I forgot all about the Cuphead DLC. That was supposed to come out in like 2019. Like,
I don't even know that I realized it wasn't out.
The Cup of Chalice or whatever, like that.
Yeah, that's the Girl Cup or something.
Crazy. Yeah, I forgot all about that, dude. I almost forgot Cuphead existed generally.
I still haven't played more than like the way beginning of it.
Bob played it at PAX, dude.
Yeah.
And also at home. But we played it at PAX at a party because the party was garbage. That's my main memory for Cuphead, is that me and Bob were like, this party sucks, let's play Cuphead. And we played Cuphead.
That's great. So yeah, Mario Galaxy 2 port, Mario Odyssey 2, Agumon in Smash, more third-party ports, namely some Bethesda games like Dishonored, Evil Within, and maybe even Fallout. And then lastly, I'm hoping Nintendo would just release all Pokemon games on the Switch, even if for like $30 each. I've only played a couple after playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, but I'd love it if they either remade all the old games or ported them all to Switch. Also, I hope they do a Zelda 3-in-1 collection that would include Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and either Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time.
I'd be sort of surprised if they did the Pokemon thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them maybe do like, because like the thing is, the $30 figure feels good because it's like, it's $30 because like, you know, they're older games, blah blah. But that's not we talk about it all the time. That's not how pricing works. So it's like, it's the fact that their games currently, like the DS games, are still going for $40, $50 plus dollars. I don't know if they would charge $30 for them. You know, maybe the Game Boy one. See, the Game Boy ports, I think, is like a sign of good hope for that, because the Game Boy games are like $10 or whatever, and that sounds reasonable.
Do you mean the ones on the 3DS?
On 3DS, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So maybe they do $10 for Game Boy, $20 for Game Boy Advance, $30 for, you know. Yeah.
Here's what I hope is they do the whole, you know, like lots of Game Boy games on Nintendo NSO, and then lots of Game Boy Advance games, whatever. And that the Pokemon games, or multiple of them or something, would have the SP versions, like not the Game Boy Advance SP, but like the special edition versions, that the only difference is that they've got like little bits of modding in there where you can like speed them up. That's honestly, I would play Pokemon Blue again so fast if it just went faster, because I can't. It's so slow to play.
But that's not even the only problem with those games.
Yeah, but I'm like happy with the rest of the problems. You know, it's problems that I'm familiar with, and it's like, these are janky, but it's fun janky. But the slowness is just like, just painful. That's how I feel. Yeah, I'd love some more of this Pokemon games. Because I've played Gen 3 and 4 once each, and never played Gen 5, 6, or 7. So there was a bunch of stuff Cool said.
Because Nintendo, out of the kindness of their heart, sent you the game for the free.
They sent you the game, and then you sent it to me, and I
sent it, and that makes it even worse. I sent you the game for the free.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, those are great. I'm down with that stuff. Mario Strikers, that would be cool, because that's next level games. Says Mario Strikers, right? So like,
yes.
Probably they wouldn't be done with anything unless they have multiple teams.
Again. No, it's never going to happen again. They're the freaking Luigi's Mansion team now, dude.
Yeah, but I don't. So the thing is, I don't see a Luigi's Mansion 4, like I said in the video, happening.
But just because Luigi's Mansion 4 is not helping anytime soon doesn't mean that that's not going to be the only thing they work on for the next 7 years.
That's true. Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna check real quick. What next level games? What do they do between like? I mean, they did a bunch of ports of Luigi's Mansions. I know that much.
Well, they didn't do the Luigi's Mansion port. Grezzo did it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So, okay, they did Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon in 2013 and Metroid Prime Federation Force in 2016. Did not realize that somehow.
Yep.
Okay, so, but at that point, yeah, I do think there's going to be just something different that they do
but
in 2022, probably. That's not Luigi's Mansion.
I just don't know. I don't know. Because it's like Luigi's Mansion wasn't Luigi's Mansion.
Yes, right.
Then. So I feel like it wouldn't surprise me for them to just be like, all right, we're doubling down on Luigi's Mansion, and that's what we do here.
Yeah, I mean, I think like with what I said for Splatoon in my video this week, I could see them doing something else with the Luigi's Mansion IP on the Switch again, maybe, but not... I don't think a true.
I don't think that they're going to do it, but that's what I'm saying. I don't.
You're just thinking it's going to
do. Yeah, I don't think that they're going to do another game on Luigi's Mansion. I don't think they're going to do another Luigi's Mansion game on the Switch. I just don't know if I believe that they're going to do anything other than Luigi's Mansion in the interim. I think that their next game is going to. I think they're going to be retro. Like they're going to say like, okay, we're making Luigi's Mansion, and that's what we're going to do, and whatever is done is when it's done.
Yep. I disagree, but I'm happy to find out whatever happens. No, yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I'm holding out hope that they have something else, and I'm thinking it would be 2022 based on just their cadence of things from what it seems like, but you know, whatever, who's to say? So there's that. Next comment, Rocky D12 said, Switch Pro, I need it. I hope for Zelda Collection, Prime Trilogy, Breath of the Wild 2, and a return of F-Zero and Star Fox and Golden Sun. At the end, I would like the Switch to have the diversity as the GameCube had in games. I mean, in a lot of ways, I think it already does, but I'd like to see even more. You know, like,
yeah.
But I mean, I agree. Zelda Collection, Prime Trilogy, and Breath of the Wild 2. Those all seem like, I mean, other than who knows about Prime Trilogy, hopefully that is the celebration of Metroid Prime's 35th or of Metroid's 35th anniversary. That maybe even paired with a 2D Zelda. I mean, 2D Metroid.
What? Oh, okay.
2D Metroid. I messed up. So, but yeah, otherwise those seem like a good, safe thing.
Yes.
What do you think?
I don't know if I'm like, I think that they're probably going to do a Zelda collection just because like 3D freaking All Stars. I was about to say World. Just because 3D All Stars freaking blew up.
Yeah.
Which is the least surprising thing in the world. I think that like before they even happened, we were like, that's probably going to be like their next 10 million seller.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be it. But yeah, like, I just think that they're like, oh, okay, this collection thing works. Like, so yeah, I can see both of those things happening just off the strength of that, which is like, obviously they've been working on these, if they exist, they've been working on them for long enough. I don't think that the collections take that long. You know, I don't think the HD ports, like Wind Waker HD took them 6 months or something like that. Right. So, I think that the bulk of that work is always the like getting the engine down and like, you know, the actual process of porting it over, not so much as like a regular game where it's like you got to build assets and blah, you know. So, I think that
and it sounds like they decided
they are in a position where they could make a decision based on 3D All Stars,
which is usually definitely not the case.
Yeah, well, it depends on what it is.
Right.
It depends on what it is. Like if it's a full-on game, like if they were just going to 3D All Stars did like Pikmin 3, right? I don't think Pikmin 3 Deluxe. You know how we were saying like maybe like Pikmin 4 hinges on Pikmin 3. They can't do that in that way, right? They can't say like, oh, Pikmin 3 did great. All right, next year Pikmin 4. You know,
it would be like 3 years. Like let's start Pikmin 4.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas for this is like one of the few cases where, like you said, they could like take this information and apply it straight away.
We are releasing Metroid Prime, you know, like that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, for us, if we see a video does well one week and people want to watch that, technically the next week we could do something on that. But like if it took us weeks to make our videos, which thankfully it doesn't, then we couldn't do that. Likewise, yeah, for Nintendo.
Sometimes it does.
So no, I'm totally with you. Yeah, that's true. Oh man, it was fun. I still feel bad for E and all that, but
I don't. It's all their fault. I told him he needs to rebrand. They need to rebrand because at the very least, it would have definitely clued off to me that I was like, this is not intentional. Because their brand is what their brand is. I was like, this is probably they did this on purpose.
Yeah. But yeah, long story short, Rocky D12, yes, please, Golden Sun. Thank you. All right. Brad's got like a counter going, not a literal one, but on the last video or on yesterday's video, he was like, Golden Sun counter. I mean, it'll just keep sliding in there. We're like, if somebody's new to the channel, they wouldn't necessarily notice straight away. But after a couple videos, it's like, all right, Parker's mentioning it. Last comment from yours, John Francis said, more info on Breath of the Wild 2. Something similar to what they did for Mario 35, but none of the limited release crap.
Oh, come on, 35. But 25.
What would that? Ooh,
I don't know. I don't care. Just do it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like what. There's no way. It would have to be like Pikachu 25 or something. You know what I mean? Where it's like this. Just. I'm trying to think.
They figure it out.
They figured it out. I'm down.
Developer.
I mean, like I've got some ideas. I've got some ideas for sure of like, I mean, if you have a limited roster, you could do, you know, like here's 25 Pokemon and you could choose between, or everybody is randomly assigned one of them. And then it's a battle royale, 25 players of doing something, who knows? But otherwise it's just, there's so many different Pokemon.
It could be a draft. It could be a draft. In the beginning, again, there's 35 Pokemon. Each person picks freaking, I don't know, 3. And you do it like that. And there's some Pokemon that like they get left because that's just how numbers work. Like 3 is not going to be a clean enough number for 35. So the Pokemon that are left in the pile after everybody picks their Pokemon, they're the final bosses. Dude. That's what happens.
Continues. More info on Indy Freedom Planet 2. A Wish, a sequel to Hades. I mean, not yet, but maybe like DLC or something if it's doing super well, you know. I don't know if they've planned DLC. I don't know. Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition to Switch. Mass Effect series to Switch. Switch Pro. And COVID eradication. Oh, wait, this is gaming vid? Wrong thing.
Nice.
Yep.
Wrong kid.
So yeah, those are fun. Mass Effect. I mean, there's a bunch of EA games. They were supposed to announce like 7 games to come out this year that they didn't happen. So I don't know what's going on with that. But it sounds like Mass Effect wasn't one of them.
EA, dude. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Also, maybe that was just a rumor. I can't remember.
I think they straight up said it. I'm pretty sure
they definitely said there was more stuff. No, you're right. I think the rumor was what those things were.
Yeah,
but
I think
at the same time, those seem like pretty.
Said 7. You know, like I'm totally pretty sure I heard that number from them.
Yep. Yeah. So, all right. Last thoughts on your video before we move on.
Sure, dude. All of it. Give me all the things that I want. Cool. And make sure none of them are bad.
Order taken. Yes, we'll make sure of that. Cool. Then I made a video / we both made it about games that'll maybe get sequels within the Switch lifespan. And here's some
like Pong 2.
Pong 2. There were a lot of comments on Mario Kart 9 because that was the last one and it was in the thumbnail. So makes sense. That was kind of the point of making that the thumbnail because I thought people would have opinions on it. So Gazentia Fox and Hector, I pulled comments from both of them. And Gazentia Fox says, in quotes, as long as Mario Kart continues to sell the way it does, which is something I said in the video. And he said, yeah, at least for box sales in the UK, according to GameIndustry.biz's final UK box sales chart for 2020, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has increased its sale year on year since 2017, making 2020 the biggest year for it, at least in physical sales. If that translates to other territories and or digital sales, where's the incentive for Mario Kart to do Mario Kart 9? Even if
Nintendo to do Mario.
What did I say?
For Mario Kart to do Mario Kart 9.
For Nintendo to do Mario Kart 9. Even if they can get around the added difficulty of making it different enough to get more casual fans to double dip and pick up 2 Mario Karts for the same system. Fully agreed. I think, yeah, the like biggest, I am curious how different it'll be. I think probably they'll come up with some ideas of making it stand on its own and be its own thing. But there's just so many people that would have just bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I don't even think that that's the problem. I think Mario Kart, like at all. Right. I think Mario Kart just has strong enough brand recognition where they can Call of Duty it, and it's like, like the people that really play it are going to know the difference. But most people are just like, it's Mario Kart again. I don't care. I'll buy it.
Right.
I think that and it's not a problem for them, but I think the thing for them is like, why would we do that? You know, like why would we? And it's like having a new console, like revision or whatever, and knowing that you're going to release that console revision, but know that it's not coming out for 9 months. Why kill your sales for 9 months by announcing it now when it's not ready? You know, I think that it's a similar thing to that, where it's like, we could make Mario Kart 9, but we just sold another 8 million or whatever of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So like, let's wait until that slows down to a halt, you know, and then we'll release Mario Kart 9. Yeah. I think, sell more, you know.
I could definitely still see, like I mentioned this in the video, and the more I think about it, the more I could see this happening. But like, you know, PS4 had a really strong last year in 2020 with like a bunch of, you know, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy 7, like the Swan Song kind of thing. I feel like that would be a great usage for Mario Kart 9, is like, get people
think
in.
That Mario Kart 8 Deluxe proves that having Swans on Mario Karts would make sense.
Yeah, right. And then having it carry over.
Because it's such a big franchise that it would just make sense to have it on the thing with the biggest install base, but also set up the next thing to perform really well because of the game that is usually the best-selling game and has been for a really long time. With the exception of like Wii Sports is a weird thing, you know, where it's like, but if you discount Wii Sports, because it's like, and it's not like, not discounted in the same way, because like Wii Sports is more impressive than Mario Kart in the sense that like Wii Sports was like, a lot of people are like, it's a pack-in, but no, it's a $250 game. Like that's what it was.
Yeah,
you know?
seriously.
Like, people didn't,
I mean, like Animal Crossing is a $360 game for a lot of people. Yeah,
exactly. That's what like Wii Sport, but like in the more traditional sense of a game, like I have this console, I'm going to buy a game for this console that I have. Mario Kart is a big deal in that way. So you want to have another thing that everybody has, while there's still like, you know, there's going to be like manufacturing issues and, you know, supply and blah, blah, blah. With the next console. So you want to make sure that people that already have the old console can play it, and then give them a reason to buy the next thing, or people that don't have the whole thing buy the next thing, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that they could do Mario Kart 9 on Switch, but also have it on the next thing.
Yep. Hector says a little bit the opposite side, says no new Mario Kart despite this Mario Kart being a port of an old console. It's amazing how little Nintendo cares about their clients. This would be my last Nintendo console for sure.
No, I disagree with that. Yeah, I think numbers disagree with that, because it's like, you can interpret that either way. Because like, if I just bought Mario Kart Deluxe yesterday and they came out with Mario Kart 9, I could say the same thing. I just bought this game. That shows how much Nintendo cares about their customers. You know, it's like,
yeah, right.
No, and that's what, like, that's why I have this apprehension with like, oh, I hope that like what you said about the fans thing. I think that there needs to be a clear separation there, because it's a transactional relationship. And I think that because it's like this thing that like, and I don't mean that in like a super cynical way, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's like it's a consumer. You know, like supply and all, like they're a business. So like, it's not their job to make us feel like they're our best friend and like, you know, they did us a favor. They need to do the thing that makes sense as a business. And there's some like, there's like, you know, dipping your toe in the water of like being friendly as a company. Like, I think ultimately Nintendo is a company that cares about their customers, but they are their customers, you know. Like, so you gotta be like, keep in mind that just because you may think that like, oh, I would really like it if they do blah, blah, blah. They can't just do you a favor, because then like with that mindset, they're screwing over another customer.
Yeah.
And then they're not doing them a favor, you know? It's
like, and I can't say for sure, but it sounds like Hector in this case fits in at least with a decent chunk of the mold of like somebody who maybe had a Wii U and bought every game on the Wii U and that kind of thing. And I get that for sure. But I think as soon as we started to see several Wii U ports coming over, I think it was important at that point to start resetting the clock and being like, all right, Nintendo is literally pretty much pretending like the Wii U didn't happen, and we're just going to have to prepare for that.
Well,
just
also,
because
I don't think that that's even the case, right?
Not pretending that it didn't happen, but like in the sense of like, yeah, I don't know.
It's just like this weird expectation that gamers have. It's like, oh, because this has been the case for a thing, it becomes expectation. It's like, because console cycles are usually this long, that means that I am safe, you know?
Right.
But there's nothing about the game, like the conceit of having a gaming console that guarantees that you will not have anything else that outdates your gaming console for any set amount of time. There's nothing that says that. They can go annual if they really wanted to, iPhones, iPads, laptops, blah, 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 you know? But they don't. And that's not because they can't, and that's not because they don't think that it's okay or it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. It's just because that's what the business model has been. But that doesn't mean that's what the business model has to be. And I think that it's very similar with this. It's like, just because Mario Kart has been this thing of like every console gets one, you know? It's kind of like the Smash Brothers thing, right?
Right, yeah.
Or like any franchise where it's like, oh, well, in the history, we've only gotten one on this, and blah, but nobody says that that's how it always has to be.
Right. Because for each of those, there's, you know, not for each of them. Some of them, there haven't been exceptions yet, but for a lot of them, there have. And it's like, at some point, an exception
is like Splatoon, right? Like, there's no real way to say anything about what they're going to do with Splatoon, because the first Splatoon took them 11 months to develop from nothing. And then the second Splatoon came out like 2 years after that. So it's like, there's no precedent there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. This being, I mean, if it's your last Nintendo console, also, that's fine. You know, whatever, you do you. But like, I'm curious what other factors are influencing that other than just Mario Kart, because I feel like,
like I would hope that it's more than just that.
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe. All right, continuing on. Your boy Matt says at 2 minutes and 15 seconds, I do not want this. Specifically, I think at that point I was talking about annualized Zelda based on the rest of this. So speaking as a Pokemon fan who actually likes the modern games, annual releases don't help anything. Yes, Zelda is consistent.
By that. I'm confused by that.
I think, so in the same way, I think what it's saying is in the same way that I was like, well, Nintendo has said that they want like a Zelda game every year. I think he's saying like Pokemon has had lower quality because it's become annualized.
He likes them. But that's what he likes. Like, that is,
yeah,
he likes the modern Pokemon games, but they're effectively annualized.
I'm guessing that it's like I like them, but it's like that he's not like a Dexter or National Dexter or whatever, but like I don't know, something.
Hold on, I need to look at the Legend of Zelda franchise because I feel like it's never really been that far from that.
No, yeah. I mean, honestly, that's the thing. I mentioned it on Switch, but I'm pretty sure since 2013 that's been the case. There's been a Zelda game every year. But I'll continue to comment.
Almost since 2000. So there's Majora's Mask in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005 there wasn't a game, but 2006, 2007, 2008 there wasn't a game, 2009, 2010 there wasn't a game. So it's like since 2000 it's either been annual or biannual.
Yeah. So here, I'll read the rest of the comment, and then, but yeah, yes, Zelda is consistently good for the most part, and yes, a lot are remakes or the like, but it's still quite dangerous, as I imagine a lot of the reasons Zelda games are so consistent is because they've had enough time to be planned, developed, etc. Every other year may be a bit better, but it could have the slight potential of harming the overall quality of the games. Even with HD remakes and ports, I still think yearly or semi-yearly is a bit too much. I think, yeah, the thing is, like, with the games that you're looking at,
it's already yearly or semi-yearly.
And I think it's just not like, like the mainline 3D games or whatever, like each of them still are split out pretty well to where like it's still taken 4 years for the sequel to Breath of the Wild in the same engine to be made. So I think they definitely,
also,
yeah.
Annual Zelda games doesn't mean annual Zelda games developed by the same team.
Right.
Just like annual Call of Duty games doesn't mean annual Call of Duty games developed by the same team. That's not how game development works. It's IP. Like just because it's an IP, and that goes into how people at large think about IP, especially when it's like something that's like long and storied and it's like it's been worked on by a specific person for a long time. There's like some franchises that have successfully removed that from the idea, like Mario. Mario Miyamoto hasn't worked on a Mario game in years, dude. You know, like but it's fine, you know. But stuff like Smash Brothers, it's like Sakurai doesn't want to work on it anymore. That means it's gonna die. It's like Sakurai, like he's not the only person in the world that can make a Smash Brothers game. Sorry, Smash Brothers fans, but that's just not how it works. I guarantee you, there's somebody that can make a game that's just as bad, just as good, if not better.
Just as bad.
But also, I mean, in a lot of ways, Sakurai, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like at least 3 times a session, and that's light. I'm like, Sakurai, dude. Like, come on, man. You did that. Like, this is the decision you made for this? You know? So it's like, we got to stop putting people on pedestals like that, where it's like, this game couldn't exist without this one person. Let's forget the fact that it's worked on by hundreds. If this one person wasn't involved, it would suck. You know, like that's a bad attitude.
And I think the thing with this, I mean, because I totally get the idea behind it that like, yeah, if it's yearly, then it could suffer from this order. But I think the fact, like you said, AJ, that it's pretty much been that since 2000 with just a couple years missing here and there means that until
even then at max is 1 year.
Yeah, right, exactly. So until it obviously is suffering from it, which I think we could say like to some degree Pokemon, because of the marketing around it and like the other aspects of Pokemon, is suffering some at least from it, where like there are obviously things they would have wanted to add into Pokemon Sword and Shield that would have been great that they didn't because they had to get it out that year. Like,
yeah.
And that's not even
it's an entirely different process.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's like, the thing that hurts Pokemon isn't the fact that it's annual in a vacuum. It's the fact that it's annual and it hinges on everything in the Pokemon brand. You know, like,
because the thing is, any of the spin-offs, like Pokemon Snap, they could delay that out to 2023 if they want to. Like, there's nothing holding that back. But like, there's always a new Pokemon game coming up. There's always like a bunch of new Pokemon games coming out. There's just like a lot of spin-offs and stuff. And for Zelda, there's just way fewer even than Pokemon games, because you would count a spin-off as the Zelda game that year, whereas you wouldn't with Pokemon necessarily, you know? So yeah, I think until we see it actually harm it, then like, I think we can rest easy pretty much that it's like, it's good that it's annualized because it's diversified enough. Powet PT, probably said that wrong, sorry, said, yesterday, amidst New Year's celebration, I had a wild idea. What if they worked Ring Fit Adventure's future by making a crossover with a Nintendo franchise, say Link's Ring Fit Adventure or even Pokemon's Ring Fit Adventure? I love this. Or
I think that like, could work.
Or but DLC like, for each.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I think that would be the best way to do it.
That's how they do that. They do DLC. They do Ring Fit Adventure 2, and then they do DLC for the franchises or whatever. Yep. Kind of like they did with like Sonic Lost World, where it's like it's Zelda. It's the Zelda DLC, you know?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, I think just keep the same, because you can just buy a new, ring for Ring Fit Adventure if you want. So like, because I don't think they need to come out even with Ring Fit Adventure 2 unless the physical product is going to be a different thing.
Yeah.
But like maybe even a boxed, like DLC thing or whatever. Like,
but I think
have it in stores.
Like, that's the biggest thing about it. It's kind of like how, like, the reason why Pokemon games, right?
Yeah.
They do the box releases.
Yeah.
It's not because they feel like they have to. It's
because they want to be on store shelves for everyone to be able to see it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that would be DLC that we would see. We would see a physical box for, and it would have a code in it, kind of a thing at stores, because the kind of people that would be playing it. Like just tons of people are playing it. So I think it would benefit them.
I can see them doing a sequel for something like this and making it so that the game is built around that.
Yeah, right.
Like narratively almost, where it's like you're traveling through galaxies and stuff, and then they do DLC, you know, versus it being like we're just going to like throw this in the Ring Fit adventure.
Yeah.
Like
I hope they do, because
like
that's
a new ring,
I think that's cool.
and it's just like a new cartridge or whatever, and then just like here this is.
And then you can buy the ring separately or something like that too. Exactly. So like if you already have, you could,
right. Like We Fit.
Right.
Like follow-ups to We Fit.
Mm-hmm. I love that idea for what it's worth. It's cool. Dragon Holly, last comment says, I think Nintendo needs to make Mario Party Ultimate, bring back the old boards and mini games, and add online modes for them. Also, I want to see Pokken 2 happen. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
It just, there's so many good old boards, and I don't understand
and they can
why
make
the new ones kind of suck.
See with that, like the board specifically.
Yeah.
I think that like the thing about like a lot of people complain about like the new mini games and stuff like that. I think the new mini games are fun a lot of the times. Yeah. It's always the board. That is the problem with every mini game. Is like, I mean, every Mario Party game is because of how they handle the board game aspect of it.
Yep.
That's where all their issues come from.
Yep. And I wish just, like this last one, they just tried to do a bunch of different things all at once. But like if they just spent all that same time working on
if they consolidated all of that stuff, it'd
have been way better. You know,
they're more complex boards, even like Mario Kart 8 boards. Even I think Mario Kart 8 boards are pretty good. And then they worked all the.
Did you say Mario Kart 8 boards? Did you mean Mario Party 8?
Mario
boards?
Party, yeah, Mario Party.
I was like Mario Kart boards. I don't know about those.
But yeah, Mario Party 8 boards. If they did them more similar to that. And they worked in all the like rhythm mini games and like stuff like that. Instead of that being a different mode, made that all part of the main party experience. I think that could have made Super Mario Party better. And I'm not in this camp that thinks Super Mario Party is a bad game. I think Super Mario Party is decisively better than the last few Mario Party, and that includes like the DS and like with the. I think 8 is probably better than Super Mario Party, all things considered. But I think Super Mario Party is better than 9 and 10 and all the handheld versions. So
yeah,
there's that.
But yeah, an Ultimate would be super cool because then they can. Also, I feel like that kind of thing because they would have to do like it's a different team now. It's ND Cube, right? That works on it instead of Hudson Soft used to back in the day. I feel like that would be a good opportunity for like. If I record a cover of a song, sometimes I learn things from that cover of like, oh, I never even thought about doing this way or something like that. And then I can apply that to my own songs. So like similarly, Hudson Soft pretty much hasn't, or ND Cube hasn't had a great Super Mario Party, right? Because they didn't do Mario Party 8, did they?
ND Cube is like a similar situation to like 343 Industries,
right,
where it's like a lot of which I always found to be weird, like how people talk about them, where it's like, oh,
it's some of the same people that are
like
just in there.
It's a lot of the same people. Like that's the thing that's weird about that whole thing. I think that ND Cube might be similar to that. I could see it probably being the last because I think that they would make a bigger deal about that.
But like I feel like that would be a cool thing
because they still say like from the makers of like the original Halo game,
right,
like they say stuff like that. But
if I think if they could work on like a Mario Party Ultimate, they might be able to like have hands-on with what made some of the older boards more appreciated versus some of the newer ones, and then that could translate in pretty well to future iterations, instead of like trying to do it from the ground up and not really knowing what people.
And they kind of did it. I mean, ND Cube, they worked on the top 100.
Yeah,
so that is like
it just doesn't have the boards, which is
the
but the mini games are a lot of people's favorites. So like, I mean, it is the favorites. It's the top 100.
I think the mini games are fine. I like the Super Mario Party mini games.
Yeah,
I think they could have did more to like take advantage of the unique aspects of Switch, but they always drip feed the mechanics with Mario Party games where it's like we could do this, and then they add more and more.
I think the boards, just need to be. They felt really small on this one, and I feel like it's important for them to be sprawling so that you don't come back to the same spot over and over and over again. Right. But like, there was only like on a lot of the boards, like 5 spots, Toadette could show up with a star, but it kind of needs to feel to me like I need to get all the way over there to get a star or something, you know.
And more directly themed.
Yes,
Because like
100%.
with the other
This is
Mario
fruit on
Party,
some water.
it's kind of like the best board I think in Super Mario Party, because it's so in like the theme is so like intertwined with playing the board, is the gold one.
Right.
Because it's like it's all about the specific way to play on that board.
Yeah.
Everything else is like, yeah, man, it's Mario Party, but like there's fruits and stuff. You know, like the board's not really any different. There's like
it's not like the boards are getting eaten.
It's like,
by...
oh, you rearrange them, but it's not like different enough to like make me want to play at one place over another. Also, they got 2 studios.
ND Cube does?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because they also made Clubhouse 51 Games, which they did a great job with that. But
also Clubhouse 51 Games, like it wouldn't surprise me if they only had 1 studio and they made that game.
Right. Yeah, and that they just did that quickly or whatever.
Yeah.
I could also see that.
And that's not to say that the game's bad or nothing like that, but like there's a lot of stuff.
They don't have to come up with the mechanics of how.
Games. Yeah, exactly. They don't have to be like, man, how do we develop Connect 4?
Right.
How do
the
we
one
do
thing
that?
with that game that I think would be harder than somebody might think off the bat is just how many nuances go into each one, not as far as the gameplay itself or whatever. Like maybe developing the AI for the games, I don't know, maybe that's something that's a tricky thing, but I think thinking about all the like instructions and those kinds of things for every single game probably takes a little bit of time.
I can still see them being like,
I could see that too.
We got 35 people. You guys work on Clubhouse 51 Games, and then we got 87 people. You go work on Mario Party. You know,
Actually, Mario Party might be an easy for the thing we were talking about before. That might be an easy one for that.
And I think, well, I think this will give it away. I'll tell you this after the fact.
Okay,
that's something I thought about too.
Sounds good.
This will give it away.
But without giving anything away, hey, Q&A. Let's give away some answers to questions that you give us first from YouTube community. You may have asked some in the last couple hours since we started recording, but if so, too late. We're locked in. And if so, carried over next week so we can answer it then. Alec Kleinman says,
we got another we got to freaking another. I was about to say another Kleinman. I think we only have one of those. We got another
Alec.
You guys
look at that.
Death now. That's the Wolf Den rules.
And Alec commented today too. Oh no.
Oh, now you definitely got to fight to the death.
Look at that. Alec asks, will we see a Nintendo Direct in early 2021 outlining product launches for the anniversaries of Pokemon and Zelda? If not, how do you think Nintendo will handle marketing and the release of schedule for these events? Will they be spread out throughout the year, or will Nintendo give each franchise an individual push for a couple of months before moving on to the next? I realize this will mostly be speculation, but I'm here for it. And that's 100% what we do on this channel.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're not 100% of what we do, but we like doing
it's not.
Yes. There will 1,000%, and this is not speculation.
It's not 1,000%, but it's
absolutely positive that we will see something similar to that for Pokemon specifically. Because even when it's not their anniversary, they do that, where it's like, this is what we're doing with Pokemon this year, even and I think if it's just like, here's the big game that we're doing this year.
I was thinking about this too. Like, luckily Pokemon is, like, they were obviously Nintendo, but like their own thing for sure, as being the Pokemon company, where like they, for all it matters, they could have a Pokemon Direct and a Nintendo Direct on the same day. Like, they wouldn't. They just wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think.
But like, Pokemon company, I think they'd be like, yeah, we're just gonna do it the same day. You know what I mean? Like, it could happen.
And it would be a thing that I think that they wouldn't do because Nintendo would feel betrayed.
Yes,
right. Like, there's not many.
I think that's how much
solo properties that could do that. But Pokemon could 100% be like, nah, man, we're just going to do our own thing at our own time, and I don't care that you're doing yours.
Right. But it definitely won't be involved, in my opinion, in the same one Direct.
If anything, it's going to be
Pokemon.
like Pokemon will do its own thing before, and then they'll mention it. They'll be like, oh yeah, and that Pokemon thing, and here's a slightly different trailer, you know?
But whenever they do the Zelda thing, I think that'll be more likely. What did they do?
I could see that being
more likely. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say its own thing, like a Mario 35.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe they do a Zelda 35 direct, but I could also I wouldn't be surprised if they made it part of a just general direct.
I think it depends. Yeah, how many things, like what the breadth is of it.
Yeah, like if they do Breath of the Wild, then yes, they're doing a Zelda direct. But if that doesn't come out next year or this year, I gotta stop doing it. We both gotta stop doing it.
Yeah.
If they do Breath of the Wild this year, then they're going to do a Zelda Direct too. It would shock me if they didn't. They might do multiple at that point.
True. So yeah, there's that. Man, I really don't know if we're like comparing it to this past year. I don't know what the timeline would be for the Zelda one specifically. Like the Pokemon one, it'll just be probably towards the beginning of the year and its own thing. Who's even?
Well, I think this year, but we can't really compare it because I
know that's what I'm saying.
I think they wanted to do Mario
at
April?
E3. Oh, at April.
Yeah, like around that because it seemed like around that time frame.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like they had a lot of things that were supposed to come out around E3, if not slightly after, and it's rare for them to do for something like Mario, and it's available now, like
I mean maybe for some of the things like Super Mario 35.
I was about to say I could see them doing that for Mario 35 and that's it.
Yeah, I agree.
But everything else I couldn't see them doing that for Mario.
So yeah, I mean I think I'd think it's likely around June-ish to hear about the Zelda stuff.
Maybe March.
But who knows? Maybe before that, maybe after. Maybe March
31st, dude.
Yeah. Next question. Cool. So I also put a poll on here for what people thought they'd want to see, or what people thought they would see in 2021: Metroid, Star Fox, a new Kirby game, or something else that I put on there that I forgot. And there it is. Splatoon, maybe I said. I don't know. And Cool said, "I'll say most likely is Kirby, but Metroid could happen. The rest are a stretch, in my opinion. I'm currently playing Super Mario Galaxy, and I kind of want to listen to some music as I play, but I also think the soundtrack for Galaxy is really good, so I don't want to miss the music as it adds to the experience. Do you usually listen to any songs as you play or want to, but also feel like you'll be missing out on something if you're not listening to the game's music and environment?" That's the question. I'm going to say, go ahead.
It completely depends on what the game is. I have no qualms with listening to music when I'm playing Pokemon. Pokemon, freaking Smash Brothers. I'm
anything that's sort of grinding within that world of
exactly.
This is a part of the grander experience, but individually isn't doing a whole. Yeah, I definitely feel that with grinding in games or whatever. Yeah. And honestly, usually for me, it's not. I don't listen to music specifically doing it. It would be mostly more like a podcast watching a video, watching a show or something like that. And I do it more often than not with a lot of games.
I think that I don't even think about it. Podcast, for whatever reason, music specifically, it's not even for whatever. It's because I'm freaking, I can't. It's kind of like watching videos or whatever. Once you make something, or at least me, once I learn how to make something, it's hard for me to just consume it. So music, I can't really listen to it and just listen to it.
Right. Yeah.
And not dissect it at least on some level. So I have to be doing something that I'm on autopilot in every other way. Yeah. But podcasts, I can listen to podcasts and play pretty much whatever. It could be a narrative thing, and I'm still listening to a podcast. But for music, for whatever reason, I can't just do that in the background.
That's interesting. So for me, music, I love music and I play music and stuff, but I don't ever sit down and just I'm going to just listen to this music unless there's some rare times.
But that's what I mean. I rarely just do one thing, period.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Ever.
Same.
But I mean, if I'm listening to music, it's usually the main thing that I'm doing, and then I'm doing something else in the background versus the other way around, where it's I'm doing something, I'm playing a game and I'm listening to music in the background.
Yeah.
Usually it's the main thing that my brain is thinking about is the thing that I'm listening to.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing Smash, or
for me, I think it's 50-50 for me, probably, where I'm fine to have music, especially if I'm working and doing like math stuff, especially working wise, then like I can think 50% of my brain about that, where it's like kind of the focus, but also like listen to music that I enjoy. And yeah, I don't know. I sort of agree, sort of like the same kind of thing. But like, long story short, I very seldom just straight up listen to music, but also I don't have to, I'm fine for it to be like mostly in the background, but there will definitely be times I either have to pause it to focus on the thing because I like the music too much, I'm going to focus too much on it, or straight up pause the other thing and be like, nah, I'm just going to listen to this now. Like I've listened to Plini's new album like 20 times and it came out just a couple weeks ago. And it's usually while I'm like editing my video or doing work or something like that. There's a bunch of times where I'm just like editing and like, just completely stop editing for several minutes at a time just because
I think editing is the only time where I'll like sometimes listen to music, but it depends on what I'm editing, because you're like there's just a lot of stuff that for me process wise would seem like it should take a lot of my brain but I'm just so used to doing it, where it's like animating things, right, where it's like I know how to, like, for me, like whenever I show somebody how to like do keyframe animations, they're like, man, this looks like it's so complicated and blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I just clicked 2 things. You know, I literally clicked 3 times and that's an animation. We're done. So for me, those are the times where I could like listen to music and not really like pay attention to it and blah, blah, blah. But then there's also times where I'm like editing like the structure of the video itself. And I had to listen, like if I'm going to listen to music, it has to be something that's like very much so like I'm not really listening to it. It's just background noise. But that's rare.
I'll honestly, with that kind of thing, when it's editing a structure or whatever, that turns out fine for me a lot of times to listen to stuff, because I think I'm not so much listening. I'm more like listening for when the good takes happen. You know what I mean?
But I less so mean like editing. I literally mean
I see what you mean.
Because there will be a lot of times where I'm like, when I script a video and I'll literally restructure. Like I did that kind of with your video, because it's like at first I wrote my parts, because I did sort of 2-part sort of situations. I wrote it as one thing, but I was like, it would make more sense if I mentioned this first part during your Pokemon bit. And then I talked about Smash Brothers at the Smash Brothers part. That sort of part where it's like, this video is completely edited audio wise, but I'm restructuring it so that it just makes more sense narratively.
Right. Yeah.
That is more so what I mean than
I can definitely see that.
Because like scripting 2.0.
I enjoyed your part in my video, the little aside, the breaking the fourth wall bit was fun. So that's fun. Also, if anybody cares about metal kind of stuff at all, the song Impulse Voices on Plini's new album is one of my favorite songs of this past, or is probably my favorite song of this past year. So go check that out.
Nice.
That's fun for you. There it is.
Nice. Did you see my freaking tweet at Will?
Which one? Maybe.
The only tweet that I did at Will
in the
last week or something. No, I was talking to him about Wonder Woman, I think. But
okay, yeah, I was gonna say, because I remember.
Tweet.
I want to say yes, but I don't remember at all.
So yesterday, it was yesterday. I was listening to Wolf Den Live, and Will said something about Kanye. He was like, "I'm glad."
Oh no, I haven't seen this.
He was like, I'm glad people hate Kanye now, because now I can say that Kanye was never good, and like people won't be mad at me. And I was like, nah, man. I was like, my tweet specifically said, thinking about Will saying Kanye was never good. Like, how dare you, William? The whole problem is that Kanye is good. If he sucks, ignoring him would be easy. Because that's true. Like, there's plenty of people that are like, meh, you know, like, I'm not going to, like, I like joked about this earlier, yesterday on the little, like, New Year's stream that me, Bob, and a whole bunch of other people did. I joked about, like, B.O.B., right, where it's like, oh, he's a flat earther, but, like, nobody really cares about his music that much. So it's like, it doesn't matter. We could ignore him. But because people like Kanye's music that much, it's like, why do you have to be like this? You know? Like... But if he sucked, nobody would care.
I have that problem for sure with, like, if there's actors or something like that where I'm like, oh man, they're a jerk in real life. And like, it's hard because, like, man, I want to watch their stuff again, but it's just like, you know, but I mean, like, it's straight up just like cancel culture kind of stuff, but like, it's So, and sometimes it's just personal stuff where, like, the person just sucks and they're a jerk and I don't like it at all.
So, but if they suck at what they do and they suck as a person, it's not hard to be like,
it don't
you
matter
suck as a person.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna I'm not even going to entertain this. I'm just going to not continue to not engage with your thing.
There's some people that like are fine about separating like the artist and or like the person and the product or whatever.
It depends on what it is.
I'm not good
for
at that.
Me. It depends on what it is for me personally. Like Drake, right? Like I'll hear certain Drake songs, like I'm not listening to this because I know that you're not this. You know, like I saw this man. One of my exes used to watch Degrassi, and she was watching this like behind the scenes Cribs thing, and he like was crying because his mom didn't buy him a tuna sandwich, and she's like, he was like, you forgot my tuna sandwich, man. Like he threw a whole fit. Like he borderline was like, I hate you, mom, ran upstairs and slammed the door. Like borderline, you know, like he passive aggressively slammed the door in her face. And like after that, I can't listen to this man talk like he like, you know, like the rapper sort of thing. Like I can't do that because I heard this man cry about it tuna melt. So like we can't do that. And that way I can't really separate it. But it depends on what you did. Right.
Yeah, right, for sure.
Like, and what you do, like creatively and all that.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, Twitter, a bunch of questions. Pat Green asked, "Is it too late to ask about that pair's butt?" Because I put a pair in that thing. It's there, you know.
This was a coup.
Take it or leave
it. It was a coup. That's what I saw on that tweet.
I mean, you said a while back, we decided that I was going to ask the questions, and so you know what?
Sure.
That's what we get. That's the reward that I get. Gentleman's Crybaby, Chris the Butte said, "Happy New Year. If you could get a pet, in Parker's case, another pet, for no cost to you, would never hurt you or anybody else, what would you get? I would want a great white shark so I could feel like a supervillain in my house. Also, a cheetah because they're so cute."
But could you feel like a supervillain with a great white shark that would never hurt anybody else?
I guess nobody else knows that, maybe. You know, if you're the only one that knows, then like,
true.
Yeah. You know.
True. But if you know that they're not, if you know, even if just you know that they're not going to hurt, like, how would you feel? I mean, I guess like the reaction that other people have.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, oh, yeah. And you're like, I'm not even scared about it. Like, I've got to train that well, but at any minute, you know. So I don't know. I could see that for sure. I mean, I wouldn't care about a great white shark, but I would love for it to go to you.
I think I'm in the similar camp as Bernie Burns from Rooster Teeth, where he was like, it's not really a pet if you can't pet it. So he was like, I don't know if I consider my fish.
Well, maybe that's the point,
because he has koi fish, and he was like, or had koi fish. I think they died. But it's messed up, and that he talked about that too, but that's a tangent. Whereas like it's messed up that people don't care, and that goes into that where it's like it's messed up like when you say, oh, my fish died, and he's like, my fish died and I'm sad about that, and people were laughing, and he was like, that's messed up. Like, it's messed up that people laugh at that. But if I was like, my dog died and I'm sad about that, people would be like, oof, like that's rough.
There's an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine that everybody that watches it knows what I'm talking about now, but it's one of the characters in it that's like kind of, she's hard, you know, like one of the guy's dogs dies and she's like, why are you crying about it? It's just an animal. Who even cares about this? And then later she gets a puppy to give to him, and he's like, it's not the same, you don't understand. And so she has to keep it. And then like the next scene, she's like, I didn't understand before, but now I do. If anything ever happened to this dog, I would kill every single one of you in this room and myself. Like, I was like, I feel that. Okay, so here's the thing. There's some animals, it wouldn't have to do with it not hurting somebody else or whatever, but there's some that, like you said, they're just not quite pets because they don't have the demeanor of pets. Like, my wife really would love to have a deer, but deer aren't like as friendly, or like they don't have this, they're not dogs, you know, like
they're too stupid.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they're so cute, you know. So I think there's some animals like that. Like, I'll say a deer on my wife's behalf. That if I could change that about it and make it more, you know, personable, I guess, that I would choose that.
I want okay, so there's two tiers. I would want like a lion because lions are cool, you know,
100%.
But also like a horse because horses are practical.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
And if I could get like, like the perfect combination of that, but it's not real,
a Lionel?
dragon. Because they're cool and also practical.
You're going to say a Lionel from Zelda.
No. A dragon. Because then I can fly it around and it's also cool. Because horses are horses. They're fine.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't describe a horse as being cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's practical.
Mm-hmm.
A lion is cool, but it's not really practical.
Yeah.
But a dragon is cool and also practical, but not real. So real.
A horse is a cop's animal, and literally,
It's true. It's true. You know what? That's a fact. That makes them even less cool.
I still like. I've never explained this to somebody in a way that it's like held the same
hold on,
relevance.
Wait. Dogs are also a cop animal, so I don't know.
That's so true.
But continue.
I've never told this in a way that like has really like given the visual and the feeling that I had when I saw this. But there was a time I was biking to school or walking to school or something like that in college. And I walked down this tiny little street, like it's 1 block long of a street, and saw in like progressive order, I think it was like somebody riding a bike, somebody riding a skateboard, some people walking, someone riding a horse. And like, there were like 6 different means of transportation, all like kind of next to each other, but like scattered. And it was just the craziest thing. Like I felt like I was in a Dr. Seuss book or something, even though it's not that crazy, but just all of them being on the same spot. I was like, what is happening? Yeah. Again, I don't think I could explain it in a way that like feels as visceral as it did right then, but it was a time.
I think the only way that it could be that visceral is if they like progressed, like, and it was like a logical thing almost. Where it's like at first like, it was people walking, and then it was somebody on skates, and then it was skateboard, and then it was a bike, and then like that sort, or and then a cheetah. And then,
It was a little bit like that for sure, just like in terms of which ones I noticed, but it was only within a block's distance. So like, I was pretty like, oh, what, all the thing. But it was fun. Andrew asks, I appreciate this. Okay. So Andrew asked this question 2 podcasts ago, or 1 podcast ago, but it came in too late, and then he asked it again. And that was great. Cause then we remembered to answer it, because we didn't get it in time to answer.
We got there. We're here.
Thank you. Did you guys see the game It Takes Two at the Game Awards? What are your thoughts on it? Me and my girlfriend are really excited to play it when it comes out. If you didn't see it, it's by the same people that made A Way Out, and it's a co-op 3D platformer.
Yes. I did see this. Me and Bob streamed the Game Awards. We also streamed A Way Out. So I feel like we're obligated to stream this game too. Yeah, we did.
Nice.
We did. It was hilarious.
I thought it looked awesome.
The main thing I remember about that stream, I can't say because it's a spoiler. But I hope that there's a moment like that in this game.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I didn't play A Way Out. Yeah, exactly. I didn't have anything to play it on. Oh, I have something to play this on, right?
It's true, you do.
It Takes Two.
I think it's already. Oh, well, It Takes Two. I think it's.
Right.
That might be coming to Switch. I think when they announced it, they said it like it's coming to everything.
For some reason, I thought it was coming to everything except Switch, and I was like, oh man, that would be a great out,
but I don't know about it. I think It Takes Two specifically. I think they announced like it was coming to everything, but I could be wrong.
I hope so. I'm looking it up right now to see. It doesn't mention it yet. It says coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC March 26th. But March 26th is that weird Switch date. So like that's the date that like all this stuff is coming out on Switch. So I don't know. In any case, I thought it looked super cool. I wanted to have something to play it on, and now I have something to play it on. So I'll definitely look into picking it up. Oh, and it's EA. So once I have Game Pass Ultimate, it'll be on there anyway.
True, dude.
100% going to play this. I just need a second controller.
I don't know about that because not every game is on
there. Oh, that's true.
It'll be like discounted.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. In any case, I think the thing that I enjoyed about it is like the mechanics look cool as far as platforming and multiplayer and all that kind of stuff, but also had a pretty interesting like story and theme behind it of like essentially it's like couples therapy kind of a thing, which I thought was just neat. And like most platformers don't really have stories. You say you and Bob need that?
Yeah.
So yeah, good question. It looks cool. Tom asked or said, Happy New Year's, guys. Fingers crossed
Happy New
it's a
Year.
good one, or at least better than 2020. My questions are, firstly, what's your most anticipated third-party release of 2021 and beyond? And secondly, which game on your backlog are you most looking forward to playing in 2021?
Beyond Good and Evil 2, probably.
Hmm.
Just because the trailer looked cool. I
Yeah.
don't care about the IP. I've never played the first game, but the trailer looked cool. So I was like, I'm down. But it could be bad. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
But that's the only like third-party game that came to mind. So I'm just going to say that.
I mean, probably one of the Monster Hunter games for me, as far as third-party game. Because, yeah, I don't know. Cool, you know? Otherwise, there's not a whole lot that I can specifically think of right now. But yeah, I'll say Monster Hunter Rise or Stories and Bravely Default 2 and No More Heroes 3. All those ones are like, I'm just generally excited about them, and we'll see how I feel about them after I play them.
Like, all those games, like, I'm going to try at the very least, but like, I'm not particularly excited for them because they're like in that category of like, I'm interested to play them because like I know a lot of people like them and I never really gave them a fair chance, but I don't specifically care about them outside of that, you know.
And I just don't know for sure which one will hook me, if any, maybe, you know, like so that's a thing with those for sure. It's like I'm excited to just try them out. Honestly, Monster Hunter Stories probably
I think that's probably the most likely to
safest shot.
yeah.
So yeah. But as far as which game on your backlog are you most looking forward to playing in 2021?
I don't have one of those, dude.
I was gonna say. Yeah. For me, I mean, the games that are on my backlog that I haven't actually started at all are just Torna in the Golden Country and Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. And I'm not sure. I have to start Torna at some point and then just see kind of like, I've played a couple of Xenoblades in a row now, and so I'm not sure if I need a longer break before getting into it or not, but we'll see. But I'm still curious about Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, and I barely started Final Fantasy 12, so like we'll see about that. But I don't know. We'll just see how that pans out.
We shall see.
Good question. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't. Ta-da. Braxton Coffrey, or also known as Dark Type, says, Happy New Year's, Parker and AJ.
Happy New Year.
What?
Is it, this is the thing. Is it New Year's or is it New Year?
I couldn't tell you.
I never know for sure.
I mean, I think it's New Year.
I'd default
technically,
to New Year,
but it's New Year's
sounds...
Eve. So like,
yeah,
I think we just bring the New Year's Eve part into New Year's, you know, I think you're right. So,
and that's not like, that wasn't me trying to correct anything.
No,
I mean, genuinely was like confused because when I tweeted that, I was like, am I going to put New Year's or New Year? You know,
there's a lot of things like that. Like I'll sometimes say Animal Crossing's New Horizon or Animal Crossing's New Horizons or like Animal Crossing New Horizons, just like interchangeably. Because just like, I don't know.
Nah, man, I
know the right answer, but
I don't even know how that even came to be.
I think it's because Ashley says Animal Crossings.
Why?
Sure. We're in the South, so we say, I mean, like, people will say, like,
we're in the South, so we
Kroger's.
talk wrong.
Yep. No, it's true. There's a lot of, like, just things that I'll notice. I'm like, why are people saying, like, yep, going to Kroger's or I'm going to Walmart's or something? I'm like, no, that's not a thing. Anyway,
like, I would understand, like, Kroger's, that, like, I would, like, that's not an atrocity in my mind. But like, if you're going to do Walmart, like, you gotta, like, if you said Walmart, I would be like, okay, that makes sense at least, you know. But Walmart's is like, I don't know, dude.
Maybe that one doesn't happen. Maybe I'm just making that up. Definitely I've heard Kroger's, but or probably no, it's Kroger's and the Walmart is probably more what it is, and that's not a grammatical thing. That's just a thing, you know. Which is
I'm not too mad about the Walmart either. I'm not mad about
because if there's only one in your town, that's what it is. I'm going to the Walmart in town, so makes sense. So Dark Type asks, what Xbox game do you want to come to Switch this year? Oh yeah,
Banjo-Kazooie.
That's what I was gonna say. Look at that. Yep,
rare replay. But
yep,
Banjo-Kazooie, I guess.
Agreed. Yeah, honestly, I do Banjo-Kazooie. It was teased a little bit. I don't remember what it was, but somebody somewhere said something, which is super vague, along the lines.
I don't know, man.
I feel like there was something where like a creator of Banjo-Kazooie or something like that.
Or
something said something that kind of hinted at it, but it could be, maybe something that was taken multiple ways. I don't remember. It was fairly recently, like within the past couple of weeks, if that's the case.
There was I think it might have been Grant Kirkhope that just straight up was like, I don't think they're ever going to make another.
I do remember that as well.
So, yeah. If Grant Kirkhope, which I could be remembering who said it wrong, but I think it was Grant Kirkhope.
I think you're right.
He said that. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's it. Still, hopefully Xbox, Banjo-Kazooie. There it is. Last comments. These are from Discord. If you want to join Discord, go do it.
It's linked in the description.
It is. That needs to be a resolution for me is
to be in Discord. Same.
Yeah, I know.
Discord, it's such, I don't know. I have a weird relationship with Discord because I'm like on Discord, but like it's for very specific things. It's usually like I see Lee's playing Smash Brothers and I go in there and hang out with him and play Smash Brothers. Or a stream, something like that. Or somebody adds me. Like I'm accessible on Discord, at me, and I will talk to you. But it's just not something that's like the first thing in my mind to be like, I'm just going to hang out in the Discord. I should though.
Yeah. I think the hard thing for me, and it's dumb. Well, part of it is just that I get busy a lot. And so that's the thing. And so I'm just not there with like time to kill and Discord being open. Yeah. But I think the hard thing for me is like, knowing that it's like, oh, I've got 10 minutes, let me hop in or something. Right. But then at the end of that 10 minutes, I'm going to have to be like, peace out guys, see you later. And I don't like having to be like, bye.
Exactly.
So it's easier just not. And I
never put words to that, but that's also that. Yes. Yeah. It feels much more like you have to like announce yourself and announce when you leave. Right. Right. And that's why I think I gravitate to Twitter more because like I could just go 3 days without tweeting, you know, like it's fine. But I can't really do that on Discord. It doesn't feel like I can.
Right. Because I always like Mega Man, Chicapo, Alec, Duncan, whatever. Like Grimhane, I love talking to all you guys. So like it's just fun. But like I just feel bad being like, okay, I'm gonna leave now, So yeah. But I just need to get over that.
I will try in 2021 to actually engage in the Discord. But again, it's never been a thing of like, man, I'm too big time for Discord. It's never been that. It's always been the thing like if somebody @s me in Discord, I will respond to you. But like just hanging out in Discord is like not something that I naturally
and it just hasn't become part of my routine, I think.
Exactly.
So
that's what it is.
And if something big happens, like Nintendo wise, I'll go to Twitter and tweet about it or something instead of going to Discord.
Being in Discord. Yeah.
Which probably just do both, So in any case, but from Discord, Falcon says, okay, so this is actually from a bit ago, but we didn't answer it then because it was whatever. I'm a huge fan of Mario RPGs. So on Switch, we've gotten tons of support from Squaresoft or whatever they call themselves these days. We've got Octopath Traveler, sequel coming, and a ton of Final Fantasy content. Do you think it's within the realm of possibility that we could get a Super Mario RPG 2 for the Switch? No. Seeing as how Paper Mario is an action-adventure game now, and Alpha Dream being defunct as of last October, it would seem like a good time to bring back that series. Looks like they're Square Enix. They are Square Enix.
Yeah, Square Enix, because it's not like they call them, they're two companies combined. But yeah, no, I don't think that that's going to happen. And I think that like Sephiroth being in Smash is almost like an indication of that for me, because it's like, Sephiroth's in Smash, but like we can only get 7 more songs or whatever. Like, because rights, it's like, I don't know, man. I think that they're too precious with their stuff. For Nintendo anyway. I think that if this was Sony, they would be more on board. But for whatever reason, it seems like they're still weird with Nintendo, at least a little bit. So I don't know. And plus, like Alpha Dream not being a thing does not mean that like the Mario and Luigi series is gonna die. And also like I think the Mario RPG branding still exists in Japan. So like.
Interesting. On like Mario and Luigi?
Yeah, like I think they call them that. They might be Mario and Luigi RPG. But I think they do call them. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would agree in large part. Just like having only seen one of them, I just don't see it being likely that we get a second one for just a bunch of reasons. But the Occam's razor reason is just like, we're not going to, you know. I don't think they see the incentive for it all that much, you know, even though some people would be excited about it. I think they've got other things going that they'd rather put their energy into on both fronts, Nintendo's and Square's. Yeah.
It doesn't show on the freaking Wikipedia what it's called in other regions. Japan.
I don't know.
Let's say Wikipedia, Super Mario. Maybe it's on the Super Mario Wiki.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll read the next question as you look into that. But Alec,
that's what it's known as, Mario and Luigi RPG.
Huh. Okay. Cool.
Well,
yeah, there you go. So yeah, I think for them maybe it's not that, like, they're still kind of doing it just within that series.
But now it's Mario and Luigi RPG.
Right. Yeah. So I bet we see another Mario and Luigi RPG for what it's worth.
I would be surprised if we didn't, because there's nothing really stopping them doing it. Like, Alpha Dream not being a thing doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, and like, probably they absorbed some of those
exactly
anyway.
Like, even if that was a thing that was holding them back before, where it's like, that's their thing. Like, they could always hire people that worked at Alpha.
There was a comment on my video this week that from one of our somewhat regular commenters that typically has negative things to say.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay,
I know who you're talking about.
But it was a comment. It was essentially saying, like, hang on, I'm going to find it. Just because I thought it was, I responded to it and, like, I mean, in a nice way, but it just, the comment itself was I was like, this is so different from what, like, that's just not how Nintendo operates. I don't know why. Okay, comments. And all right, it said, where'd it go? What order are these in? No, news first. Oh, it just wasn't loading some of them. That's why. Okay. Said, you do know the ARMS team is the same team who made Mario Kart 8. Plus, rumors are that they got fired due to lack of sales. And I said, nah, rumors are not. Nintendo, doesn't have any history of straight up firing teams for games that sell poorly, especially not a team in EPD that'll get reused to make other games like Mario Kart at some point anyway. And B, the game sold super well for a completely new IP fighting game. Those may be middling sales for a Nintendo IP in general, but 2+ million is plenty for a first-time fighting IP. So even if Nintendo did fire teams based on sales, the ARMS team is A-okay. Thumbs up.
Well, also, like 2 million units for a Kirby game is phenomenal. Yeah. Right. The Kirby games come out every year, you know, like, even for, like, it's not even just I think that, like, the only thing that contextualizing it as a new IP fighting game, that just makes the sales go from being pretty good to being insane. Right. Like, that's the thing about ARMS. It's like, people belittle ARMS sales, but ARMS sales are insane for what it is. Not just good, they're ridiculous.
I think, and so, like, but the whole, you know, like, Nintendo just, they retain their staff as much as possible. Like, they treat their staff well, and like that kind of. So as far as like Alpha Dream, I don't know that there's any confirmation that's been out there, but like they're going to stick around, you know.
Also, Alpha to some degree, not Nintendo staff. It's not a company
that's true.
By Nintendo, so that's like entirely
different. But like, I just wouldn't be surprised if they offered some of them some positions within. I mean, they've got connections at that point, you know. Like,
for sure,
just makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So we'll see.
But it's like that extends on both sides, right? Because like I'm sure that if like the CEO of Alpha Dream went to Nintendo and was like, "Yo, dude, please buy us out," they'd be like, "Sure." You know. Right. But like if they didn't specifically ask them, Nintendo's like, "Oh, all right, let's tell you." Like, or maybe it was the other way around. It could very much so be the other way around, where it's like it would be embarrassing to us if you bought us out, blah blah blah. You know, we wanted to be independent. You know.
Yeah. Alex Baking asked, how are the first few hours of 2021 treating you guys?
They're all right. I feel tired because I didn't go to sleep until like 6 and I woke up at like.
Did you do any specific New Year's Eve celebrations?
Nah, I just hung out with Bob and E and Ian and Scootish and a whole bunch of other people in the Discord. And then after we did the stream, which that wrapped at like, I don't know, like 3, stayed
Mm-hmm.
on the call for like another hour or something like
Nice.
that. And then I like watched YouTube or something, and then I went to sleep.
I went to bed pretty shortly after midnight, to be honest. Like, but we also, I mean, we didn't
That
go
was when the
anywhere or do
party just
anything.
started, dude. We like started streaming at 9, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and then we see the thing was like, I think because Bob hit me up a couple days ago and was like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, or I hit him up and I was like basically telling him the general idea of like, this is what I'm thinking about streaming, like this is when I want to do that. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm doing a New Year's stream thing and you're invited if you want. We're just going to do just chatting. And I was like, cool. So we were just talking. It was just like a freaking 5-hour long podcast or whatever.
Nice. Well, that sounds fun. Yeah, 2021. So pretty good so far. I woke up with a headache. Okay, so this is very
Dude,
non.
You got lit, dude. You got
No.
lit.
Well, so we did get food.
So we were talking about that. We were talking about that yesterday. I forgot what the context was. But somebody said something about you cursing. And I was like, I heard Parker curse 2 times, and both times it was like my mom used to be like that, where I was like, I heard my mom call somebody that worked at McDonald's. Like she was like, we were like driving out of the drive. Did I talk about this before?
I don't know.
Driving out of the drive-through. And I was like, I don't know. I was like 17. Like,
oh yeah. That's
and my mom called the person at the drive-through an asshole, but like not to them, like driving away, like that person was an asshole, and I was freaking shocked, dude. I was so shocked. I called my sister. I was like, yo, mom just said asshole. It was like, it was wild.
Yeah. And I'm pretty
and that's what it was with you. Like you were like,
I was telling you about when it was me telling about when my mom did the same thing, and then I was like, because it was I remember that. No, for me, like it's only ever quoting somebody else, like because the other one was Mitch had sent me a tweet that said something in it or whatever. So it's only ever that, or to try to make specifically Ashley laugh, and it never works. So it's I just don't.
Wow. That would make me laugh every time.
Well, it's because like Ashley cusses a bunch and she doesn't care at all. I mean, I also don't.
So do I.
Care.
What?
Yeah, no. I'm saying
that's why it would be hilarious to me.
Yeah. So I don't know. But that said, yeah, I don't know. It's just the way that it is.
That's why it would be so funny because I curse so much.
Yeah.
Well, like off of directly to you is like more rare.
Yeah. So, but
because I'm not like, I know people that curse and they're like bad at not cursing. But like once I'm like in the context, most times, once I'm in the context of like I'm around somebody that doesn't curse or like for whatever reason I can't curse, it doesn't even cross my mom never curses. So like it never crosses my mind to curse around her. But like I'm not like above doing it or it just doesn't happen. You know, it just like not in my head. And I like with you specifically, it would be so funny because it seems like you're similar. Like it doesn't seem like you're like it's like put off by cursing. You're not like, don't curse around me. You know, it's not like that, but you just don't.
Which is funny. My mother-in-law very much is, and which is a problem. There's some friction sometimes with her and Ashley where like Ashley be around her and it curse or something. And her mom will be not thrilled. And I'm like, seriously, it's just, who cares? Like, it's very much not whatever, but I'd pretty much stay out of it because it doesn't matter. But it's funny in any case that it's such a big deal to anybody these days. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like. It's just words to me, dude.
Yeah,
like it's like it's not even something that like because I know there's people that like identify that with like them being mad or whatever. Like, I'm mad, so I'm gonna curse. It's just word. It's just a word.
Honestly, yeah, because I feel like you can do so much more harm with words that aren't classical cuss words.
Yeah,
if like saying that at somebody like I feel like it's a much bigger deal to like I don't know have hatred and those kinds. You know, like and any of that than like specifically the sounds that you make with your mouth.
Say
but
that
like
S word.
Yeah, but like you can call somebody poo-poo head with a lot of anger. And you're 2, but you know, just because that's 2-year-old verbiage. I don't know. So all that's it.
Did I ever talk about that? I was annihilating my niece when she was like, I don't know, she was like 2, 3. And she was like calling me names or something. Or I was like making fun of something like, you're like wearing a shirt that's weird or something. And she was like, stupid. It was my sister specifically. Her and my sister were arguing. Her mom were arguing, or not like really arguing, but Asia was like messing with her. And Asia was like poopy pants or something, and I was like stupid, and then Asia was like puff head or something, and I was like stupid. Like she could not think of any other insult. She dug deep in her soul, and like the meanest thing that she could call her was stupid.
That's hilarious. My sister's like big one when she was I don't know 9 or 7 or something was big fat stupid dumb pig. That combination was like just the queen, you know, of all. That was the
thing. Like,
yeah,
it was like,
the like Christmas Story fudge.
I don't know that
the queen of,
but God,
it doesn't matter. It's long story short. He says the F word, but in the video, in the movie, he goes fudge, and then the narrator goes, but it wasn't that. It was the word, the queen mother of all curse words, and et cetera, et cetera. It's a funny movie. So, yeah. But yeah, I had a headache this morning. That was lame. And I figured out I don't grind my teeth, but I like clench my teeth a lot. And I'm trying to stop, but I do it at night. And I'm trying so much not to do it at night that I end up doing it more because I'm stressed about doing it at night. So I'm sleeping badly now. It's the worst, dumbest thing.
Is there not anything that like
there probably is.
Like a deterrent, like that people commonly do to the, like,
probably I need to look it up. It's only been like 3 or 4 days that I've been trying to. But
I know my mom, she used to talk about, because Anila, she used to suck her thumb, or she still sucks her thumb. But she used to be obsessed with her pacifier, and that led to her being obsessed with sucking her thumb.
Right.
And my mom was like that, which is part of why Naya's like that, because she's like, I was like that. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know? And she used to, like, they used to try putting, like, hot sauce on her thumb and stuff. And she's like, I don't care, dude. This is my thumb. You know? Like, I don't care if I'm in pain. I need my thumb.
That's really funny. I'm sure there's I did try one night putting some, and I think it did help. I just haven't done it since, putting some lavender oil or something on my jaw, and like, we'll see. I'll try some stuff out. Hopefully it works out. But yeah, I woke up with a headache from that. That's annoying. But, all right. 2 more from the very regulars. Mega Man says, what are your New Year's resolutions, and do you ever stick to them?
I'd never make them in the first place.
I think
I don't know. I have a very similar approach to this as Bob, where it's like, I think it's something that I want to do and I just do it.
Yeah.
I think that it's easy to do certain like content wise. It's easy for me to say I'm going to stream more starting next year, because that is a good way to contextualize it for everybody else. But like as soon as I was like able to stream more, I streamed more, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just like me announcing it this year as a thing that I'm going to do just makes it easier for people to like know that they should show up.
Right.
But for me personally, the second that I'm able to do something, or that I know that I want to do it, I'm going to do it. I wanted to stream, so I bought a computer when I was ready to do it, where I was like, okay, the new computer came out. I don't feel like if I buy one now, I'm going to be outdated, blah, 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 blah. That's how I approach things. I don't really do it by the like markers of the year.
Yeah. I think for me, it's easy. It's a good time to sit down and think about stuff like that. So I like to. I don't think I did really last year. To be honest, I don't think I've ever been like, these are my New Year's resolutions, I'm going to do all of them or whatever. But I kind of like to do that a little bit more, mostly just kind of like to have a bit of just a goal. And it's like, I don't really care if I get to them, but at least to think about like, where would I like to be? What would I like to be doing, so that I can kind of work towards those, because sometimes I just don't take the time to think about it. And that's the problem. It's not the doing it, it's the having, preferences towards it. So like, I think for me, there's some things I'm going to sit down at some point this weekend and do that. Maybe even today, but of like, I don't know, I'd like to record question mark amounts of songs this year, to just feel like at the end of the year, I know that if I've done these amounts of these various things, that like, I'll feel like that was good. But I also don't want it to be in a certain way
like
where if I don't do it, if I don't do it, then like I did a bad job or anything like that. Like that's dumb. but it would be good to like just know what my, some goals are. But like, again, 2019, I remember specifically being like, I'm going to record and I'm going to do a lot more music this year. And then ended up doing Fanatix Four instead, which was I'd like spent way more time doing creative things doing this than I would have done with the music stuff anyway. So it like filled the same void.
It's not like, just like an internal thing at that point. And I think that helped me with like Fanatix Four in general, because like I'm a creative person. I like making things, but it's easier to make a thing when you're expected to make the thing by other people.
100%. Yeah.
Like the thing, like the obligation I have to you and to the viewers and stuff like that makes me a lot like I don't even think about like I'm not going to do a video like to an unhealthy amount sometimes where it's like like life sucks right now, but like I still got to do a video. Right. Like it took me a long time to come to the point this year or last year of being like, nah, this week can't do it.
Yep.
So yeah, for sure.
Good stuff.
Makes sense.
Last one, Chicapo says, what games have you enjoyed in the Game Pass, and when are we going to have Fanatix Four Pirate Adventures? I've heard good things about Sea of Thieves. I don't know if I care about it.
I specifically do not. I mean, that's a bad way to phrase it. I don't actively not care about it, but like I don't care about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like it's like pirates. I'm not super into that. I don't really care about pirates. It was fun. I played it once with Bob and Dan, and me and Bob tortured Dan, and that was fun. But like we weren't as driven as he was. Like he was like, he was like, I like the pirate thing, and we're pirates, and we're on a boat, and blah blah blah. And me and Bob were like, yo, we're pirates. Let's get drunk, dude. Let's freaking vomit and throw it at Dan.
Which I've honestly probably made it a different kind of more fun for Dan anyway, because like it's fun to.
Yeah, I think he had fun with it.
Yeah,
but it was like it was like we made him have the fun that we were having.
Yes,
versus
right.
the pirate
accomplishing goals kind of things.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I could see it being fun in a similar way to like it's kind of similar. Like D&D is fun because you're all doing a thing together and all that. So I don't know. I'd have to see what the gameplay loop is for the most part. Like that's probably the biggest thing.
It's pirates, dude. You freaking go to islands, you find treasure, you
pirate it up.
Fight other pirates, you take their ship or whatever. But sometimes people have truces and stuff. Well, I don't know. This is freaking 2017 or whatever when I played this game.
Yeah.
But like back when it was a thing that I was like I was sort of aware of. That's what people did.
Yep. The other part of that question, though, the Game Pass stuff. I mean, I mentioned the ones I've played so far, but like I said, I downloaded a whole bunch, and also it's got a whole bunch of games that I've wanted to pick up on the Switch, but just haven't yet. And I feel like this will be a good way of like almost playing a demo for something like Crosscode, for example. Like I've heard great things about it, but I haven't played it at all. It's on Game Pass. Yep, that and like a bunch of other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head.
That happens.
So that'd be something.
But like, also, the Game Pass is obnoxious.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, honestly, even like
much stuff on Game Pass.
That's like Doom Eternal is on there already.
I mean,
and like
that makes sense because
it makes sense because Bethesda and all that. But like, and because it's a new game, blah blah blah. But like, maybe the original Doom is on, or Doom 2016 is on Game Pass Ultimate. I don't know, but like, I've wanted to try that out for a while to see if but like it's either I'm going to enjoy it or really not enjoy it at all. And I don't want to spend even $30 when it's half off to do that. You know what I mean? So like, I'd like to find out. But the one I'm most excited about, I think, is probably, I've heard so many good things about the Outer Wilds. And that one's on there. So at some point I'm going to play that. And it's going to be good.
Nice.
And there it is. And there's the podcast. We did it. It's a long one again because here we are. We got a lot of things to talk about.
It's true. We do.
And we're done. See you, everybody. Bye.
We did it. Goodbye. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. Tell your uncle. Also, if you got Amazon Prime, link it to your Twitch account. Check out my stream, dude.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Peace.